Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality that's here. Wow. And welcome to Live and Wired episode 32. The sequel returns.
I'm waiting for the day when he hurts his mouth from saying that so fast.
I was going to just introduce, hey, it's my good friend, Mrs. Creepy, who's like, hey, now I'm not so good friend. Anger. So
that looks like less like anger and more like I have something in my left eye.
Quite possibly. It's been bothering me. But anyway, Patricia is here in spirit. She has a lot on her plate today and is not able to join us, so please enjoy the party.
This is what I'll be in for tonight.
Okay, Epic Jason X9000 says, I think the next episode should be Live and Wired episode 33. I got a 3. Well, I mean, it's not wrong.
Also, product placement.
Yes, we both have our Live and Wired mugs. They're one of a kind because no one else has bought any.
And mine is still bigger than Decker's.
And it's not the point. Mine was supposed to be that big, but they just cheaped out on it. Which doesn't give me the greatest confidence to saying, yeah, you can go and pick it up right now. Because I'm like, I don't know what they're going to get. What are the topics for today? Oh, a great many, Jerry Amori. The topic of the title of this episode, of course, is the fact that we're talking about a whole shitload of sequels again. A whole shitload.
Sequel mania has once again struck Hollywood. It's like flu season.
So we can go with start off with a sequel that I think is not entirely surprising. Oh, gee, they are making a new Terminator. Did you know this?
I don't know. At this point, more Terminator movies just feels like, oh, look, they're coming out with a different flavor of that same bland cereal that you've been eating.
Okay, so I share screen too. Yes, share, and then I click on me, and then oh god, okay, here we are.
The article singularity invaded.
Yeah, Patricia, you see, we got this. Don't worry. Watching at home, wondering how we're doing. So yes. There will be a Terminator 6, and James Cameron is explaining that Arnold Schwarzenegger will be evil, which I think is not exactly what he said. I think it's probably the Terminator going to be evil. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And this is not the first time that the Terminator's been evil. He was evil in the very first movie, so...
Goku's on DBZ dropped $2 saying, what is your opinion on the Child's Play remake? And we've covered that several times on Live and Wired already, actually. And it's also an article. There's more details to dig into. Aren't you happy about that, Creepy?
No, my opinion is burn it, kill it with fire.
So, the upcoming film is taking the
Also, what the hell is wrong with Schwarzenegger's mouth in that second photo?
I'm thinking more of the Terminator's mouth. Schwarzenegger's mouth is he's got a cigar in it.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
It looks like he has several teeth knocked out.
No, that's me. Anyway. The upcoming film is taking the narrative into unexpected territory. James Cameron is on a press run that discusses his latest release, Elita Battle Angel. Questions about the upcoming Terminator film still enter the conversation because he is James Cameron. Though the franchise has yet to issue an official press release statement, Cameron was happy to reveal a couple of facts about the next installment. The director says Arnold Schwarzenegger will be returning to his character, but this time he will have crossed over to the dark side, which is kind of where he started from, so I'm not entirely sure how that's a crossover. The development is reflected in the project's working title. We're calling it Terminator Dark Fate, Cameron stated. That's our working title right now. So, here's what I can say. Arnold is back, and he is bad. He's a different Terminator than you've ever seen before. He went on to say that the new Terminator is literally a different chassis number, but it's also a very different guy than you've seen before. Okay. And Little Hamilton is there to do battle. He added she's there to kick ass and take names, but no bubblegum. Very sad.
Very sad. And the Terminator got dentures.
Yay. Okay. What? Huh? What's going on? I don't know how to work this thing. Help. Okay. No, not stop. Okay, there we are. I know how to work this thing.
And this will be what we're all in for the rest of the night.
Albert Wesker says that T8000 has a face like this ripped ass and is waiting for everyone else to smell it. And SJS34 says, kick names and take ass. We need a sequel to the 70s Gargoyles movie. Was there a movie of Gargoyles? 70s Gargoyles? What's 70s Gargoyles? I'm thinking of wrong Gargoyles. And
I'm confused by that too.
And he plans on reviewing Reign of Fire, post-apocalyptic movie with dragons, and plays on Lord of the Rings 6 movie and Kong/Pacific Rim movies, plus the Godzilla anime movies.
I remember seeing that film in theaters when it came out.
I remember seeing commercials for it, and then a lot of people were like, don't bother, it sucks. And then I never actually saw it, but I was still kind of interested in it, but I never saw it come up. Like, there was never an option in my life like, hey, here is Reign of Fire. Would you like to watch it tonight? Yes. It might be on Netflix. Maybe I've had that option the whole time, and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. I don't
right.
Do well.
It was disappointing. Like I was under the impression it was going to be like dragons fighting in modern day, and there's going to be helicopters versus dragons and so forth. And it wasn't really anything at all like that. So I was like, wow, I'm kind of underwhelmed. But I saw it.
1237844 Games says, I do not see the sandwiches anywhere, Decker. I had a hot pocket. It's the best I could do. It just are my lights just really low right now? I think my lights are really low right now. I should turn that up. But also, I wanted to mention Epic Jason X9000 says, sigh. Can we just screw these standalone reboots of Terminator and RoboCop and just go all out on a hard R RoboCop versus Terminator movie? Just give us that and be done with it. And creepy, there is an interesting little RoboCop piece of news that we have to share.
That is true. Also, real quickly, John Ratsey says, creepy, love the content, keep up the awesome work. Thank you very much.
So, Creepy, I'm wondering, would you like to take a look at this one?
What do we got here? RoboCop has been lifted as KFC's latest colonel. Seriousness. Focus. Starting next week, Kentucky Fried Chicken, which I don't think they call themselves that anymore, at least not in the United States, will feature RoboCop as its latest colonel as part of its ongoing marketing campaign featuring a rotating actor filling the role of its colonel mascot. The sci-fi icon from the classic 1987 film has been tasked with safeguarding the fast food chain's secret original recipe for fried chicken, which is flour and salt and pepper, I think.
It says 11 herbs and spices. Thank you very much. Or is it herbs and or spices? Do we have 11 herbs and 11 spices, or is it just the total amount of herbs and spices reaches 11?
The ads, which show the Detroit cyborg police officer protecting the recipe in a nuclear-proof bunker, will start airing on November 24th nationwide.
Elizabeth Pruitt's like, I don't like KFC normally, but it's worse now.
I used to love KFC when I was a kid. Of course, that was back when KFC was edible, and I ate KFC at. Now I've heard that in other places, like outside of where I live, that it's actually still pretty good. But where I live, the best place you can get fried chicken from is Popeyes. So there's that.
Jedi Granville dropped $5. No comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm kind of with a statement of, I don't like KFC, but now it's worse.
Toby Kirkby said to Epic Jason X9000, as we learned from Little Nicky, Popeyes is the shiznit. Hey, we got a Popeyes local here. This Church's Chicken, pretty good. I haven't been to a KFC in a long time. It was years ago last time I went to one, and I remember it was not particularly good.
Right. I think the last time Decker and I had KFC.
No. That was the last time I went to KFC, and that was good.
Yeah, we while we were in Tokyo, we went to a KFC, and it was amazing. Like, Decker and I were both like, I don't believe it's edible. It tastes good. We're in a land where KFC and McDonald's taste good. What madness is happening to us?
Darth Necrosis says, no, it's Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome.
Thank you. And yes, also, Goku's on DBZ dropped $2. Would you consider reviewing Return to Oz?
Now that's interesting because it's like the original, the Judy Garland Wizard of Oz movie obviously doesn't really fit into my general purview of action and fantasy adventures. I guess it is a fantasy adventure after a fashion, but
also, Decker, we can't see your face.
I know it's still the screen share, isn't it?
Yeah. But I can tell when you're about to go off on a really long tangent, and well, our choices are to look at you or to look at Colonel Sanders' secret recipe briefcase.
There's all this text down here to read. Read the text. Okay. Anyway, it's not too long of a tangent. I'm saying the original movie isn't really something that it fits into my purview generally. It kind of, sort of. But Return to Oz, oh yes, I feel like I could go up and tackle that, but feels kind of cheap without at least watching the first one first.
But yeah, like Return to Oz is a messed up movie.
Anthony Hudog asks, am I going to see Elita Battle Angel? And yes, my fiance demands that I take her out tomorrow to go watch it. James Conlon dropped $5 saying, guys, anyone seen Elita yet? And Creepy, have you seen Elita? Because
No, I do not. No, I have not. But I do know people I know who have seen it, and they did enjoy it. So it came recommended.
So it's right here.
What? This was your article. Why are you highlighting it for me?
Because you read the top part of it, and now you're not reading the stuff.
I thought I could get out of this, you know? I really did. I really thought that would work. Anyway, more than 30 years after his debut, we commissioned RoboCop with a new directive to act as protector and preserve a copy of our secret recipe by transporting it to a nuclear-proof location. Okay. I'm just going to hit pause for a second. Basically, what I learned from that article is that KFC, or the company that owns it, whatever, is of the opinion that when the nuclear holocaust occurs, the thing that deserves top priority for preservation, for when the world is being rebuilt, is a recipe for fast food fried chicken.
I just imagine, being in a Fallout situation, digging through the rubble trying to find it, and you find this perfectly preserved bunker, you open it up, and there's a list, and you look at it like, what the fuck is a paprika?
Or looking for stores of water, canned food, anything that would be, supplies, medical supplies, anything that would be actually useful in an apocalypse situation, in a post-apocalypse situation, and finding this fucking briefcase with supposedly an 11 herbs and spices recipe in it, and you're just like, the fuck was wrong with people back then?
Oh boy.
Where was I? Oh yeah. Explained KFC Chief United States Marketing Officer Andrea Zauminski. Now, if you happen to survive the apocalypse, you can still enjoy Kentucky Fried Chicken. Makes perfect sense, right? Oh, man. Do I even need to make a joke about that? I mean...
I think we already did. Oh, I gotta turn the lights on. That's right. Keep them entertained.
Keep him entertained, he says. Oh, well. Southern Yankee dropped $2.99.
Everything's just dark right now. I don't know. But, yeah, we got those two super chats. one from Batboy52 for $5 saying, Decker,
Oh,
are you excited for Devil May Cry 5 this week? And I know it's the kind of game that I would most likely really freaking enjoy, but it kind of slipped under my radar for some reason. I haven't really followed Devil May Cry too much, actually, but I played the hell out of the Bayonettas, and I know that there's a lot of similarities in gameplay style there, so it makes sense. I should enjoy the hell out of Devil May Cry. I don't know why. It just kind of slips by, and I don't think about it. It's weird.
Also, we get a $2.99 super chat from Southern Yaki. Southern Yaki. Creepy, are you going to review American Horror Story Season 8? I took down my American Horror Story reviews, not because I wanted to, but because they all got flagged. Like, they got blocked worldwide. Like, every single one of them, one after the other. Like, my email inbox just started filling up with all of these alerts from YouTube telling me.
Those always feel good whenever you get that little thing and you like look and it's like, YouTube, copyright, shit. And then, oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Yep. So that happened. Also, John Ratsey, my birthday is coming up on Monday. Can I have a shout out from you and Mr. Crazy who you were talking with, please? Happy birthday, John Ratsey.
Okay, James Conlon dropped $5 more saying Jurassic World's Indominus Rex versus Peter Jackson's Kong. Now, Kong is pretty skilled at killing Rexes, but most of the Rexes are a lot smaller than him.
That's true. Also, Batboy52 dropped $5 and said Decker isn't 200% motivated.
I feel like that's an inside joke if you know how Devil May Cry works, and I haven't really played him, so that's why I don't get it.
Goku's on DBZ dropped $2. Have you guys seen the show Salem? I have not yet. There's a lot of stuff that's come out that I haven't really had the opportunity to watch yet, even though some of it looks interesting. I just, there aren't enough hours in the day for me to watch all of it. So
if it's TV show, then it's pretty guaranteed to be a no from me.
Yeah, Decker has this thing about TV for some reason.
I don't know. Tell Louis, hey, look at this. It's a big monitor that I put the video games in or the movies, but that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, when the apocalypse comes, KFC will survive thanks to RoboCop and a nuclear-resistant bunker.
Fun. But speaking of apocalypses, we could get into the YouTube news. Whoa, everything's bright. Everything's really bright. Holy shit. I'm predicting it. Okay, it's dark again.
I was about to ask, okay, I was kidding. Okay, I didn't mean I wanted the apocalypse to happen today. Nuclear flare, please leave now.
Okay, that's a great webcam I got.
And people complain about the one I have. Like, every time it comes up, someone is saying that my webcam is crap, and then yours does this.
But yeah, I'm not so sure that I want to open the articles regarding the recent forays into the risk of an adpocalypse that was just barely after the last Live and Wired wrapped up. That started rumbling, and it seems like it's already been kind of averted, which is good for obvious reasons. But there's still things going on, and there's a lot of crazy stuff with the YouTube news. Darth Necrosis says, no YouTube news, it's too depressing. It's like, well, but there's the upside. The adpocalypse seems to have been averted. That's the upside. We're talking about it.
Also,
Goku's on DBZ.
Yeah, go on.
Goku's on DBZ dropped $2 saying Salem theme is by Marilyn Manson, also in Season 3.
Hey?
Interesting. Good to know he still gets work. Do either of you watch Mystery Science Theater 3000? I haven't seen the new Mystery Science Theater 3000. So I can't say I've seen that, but I used to watch MST3K all the time when I was younger. That was I watched it back when it was Joel, and then it moved on to Mike, and then it went to Sci-Fi Channel, and I stopped watching it.
Yeah, I love the. I've seen the new series, but I also like the old series, the classic series as well. So, Batboy52 dropped $2 and said Fallout 76 KFC DLC when.
Oh boy. Does that have the KFC power armor, or is that's the secret vaults? Vault 11. Just
I want there to be a secret KFC vault, but I also want there to be a KFC weapon. That fires the 11 herbs and spices at enemies and transforms them into KFC boxes of KFC chicken.
Oh, there are mutated chickens running around in Fallout 76. So if you could get the chickens and bring them to the vault and make KFC, and you get like 50 atoms a day for doing this shit. Well, that's a lot of atoms a day for a Fallout 76. But the point is, everyone would be doing that daily challenge, killing every chicken in the world. Oh boy. That would explain why there are no chickens later on in the Fallout series, though.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just hunted them to extinction to make KFC.
Right. Anyway, where was I?
Yeah, on the topic of the YouTube Adpocalypse stuff, there was creepy. Are you familiar with what went down? Pretty much.
There was a lot of. Basically, depending on what sort of comments were on your videos could be flagged for ads.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, there were sort of model videos with children, and then there were people in the comments who were not exactly looking for it. Like, oh, that's a very nice outfit. They were like, timestamp, camel toe, and yeah. So that was a bit creepy. Well, no offense, creepy. That was less than wanted. So there was another guy who, interestingly enough, had his own little history on YouTube, and he went to the press with that, saying, hey, look at all this horrible stuff, and sent it to the advertisers. Look at all that horrible stuff. You want to pull your ads? Pulling your ads would be a really good idea right about now. And there was a couple of companies that started pulling their ads, and YouTube jumping in to, squash the issue. They're like, okay, we're going to remove the ads from the videos that have that kind of stuff in the comments. We're going to disable comments on a whole bunch of kids' channels, whole bunch of stuff targeted at kids. Comments completely disabled across the board. A lot of people who put family-friendly content woke up one day and they're like, oh, shit, comments are disabled on my entire channel. What the hell? I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was, the general public response to it, I noticed, at first when I saw that there was the rumblings of a new Adpocalypse, I was like, oh shit, not again. But very soon after, I noticed that the general public response to it was more on the side of, hey, a lot of these creators didn't do anything wrong. They don't need to be punished. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Disney pulled their ad saying, we're worried about the safety of kids. And then Disney got a lot of shit from the public, like, how dare you pull your ads from a lot of people who didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Gokusan DBZ joined as a channel member. Thank you very much.
Yes, awesome. Someone, real quick, Elizabeth Pruitt posted a comment earlier. Hey, Creepy, what do you do on your channel? I'm thinking of subscribing. I review TV shows, primarily animated shows from the 80s and 90s.
So,
So far, I am covering X-Men, the animated series, Batman, the animated series, Gem and the Holograms. I do a retrospective on the Scooby-Doo franchise, and I've done a retrospective on the Garfield specials, and I'm doing a retrospective on DuckTales, the original DuckTales from 1987.
So, with the whole Adpocalypse thing, it's like the guy who was initially saying, hey, there's this problem, kept saying there's a problem even when YouTube was fixing things, and he lost a lot of people who thought that he was speaking in good faith. It was like, hey, you actually are just trying to destroy the platform, aren't you? He lost a lot of support there. And people actually banded together behind creators, mostly, which was very nice to see. And YouTube has, like I said, across the board removed millions of comments, and they've just cut commenting on a lot of channels. And of course, they're erring on the side of caution, which means a lot of false positives. A lot of people getting comments completely mixed from their channels who didn't do anything wrong, which is really unfortunate. But also, the threat of Adpocalypse has actually pretty much been dealt with, and it's not really happening, which is very relieving for someone in my position. So yes, I got the Patreon, and it's very nice, and it does help quite a bit. It helps mitigate a lot of the fluctuations with YouTube, but it does not nearly come close to how much is made with the ads, usually. If it does come close, then there's usually a problem going on. But that also ties into the Live and Wired poll this fortnight. Well, I don't like using the word fortnight anymore.
Real quick. Brendan Kilgore says, is it true once you're a gym girl, you're never the same? Well, you've got candy-colored hair, tons of makeup on, and you're wearing garish outfits. So I think it's safe to say that, yes, once you are a gym girl, you are not the same as you were before. Bicentenario Gabriel dropped 1,000 CLP and said, hi, guys, from Chile. I'm not alone, thanks to you. That's awesome.
1,000 clips. That's nice.
I had several questions here. Which of some of the shows you've reviewed would you recommend? I have literally never seen any of those shows you mentioned. Actually, I would recommend all of them. So they're available on DVD and they're available online. So check some of them out if you get the chance. Goku's on DBZ's asked, would I ever consider a retrospective on Gargoyles? I plan to once Jim is completed.
Okay, so can I talk about the poll?
Yes, you can.
The Live and Wired poll for this fortnight would be, what do you believe will be most likely to threaten and cause the next Adpocalypse? Now, our 4 options. Number 1, a secret cabal of evil robot YouTubers who are so evil and must be stopped, and ads must be removed from everyone because of these evil robot YouTubers. Number 2, some videos have an occasion to have Manscaped ads play in front of them, and every other advertiser doesn't want to have anything to do with ads about a bunch of guys' crotches and faces going into them and throwing powder everywhere like, hey, crotch, 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 crotch. Here's some man crotch. Buy a Manscaped stuff. Manscaped ads. Dear God, they're everywhere anymore. Number 3, over at Google headquarters, a cat's going to walk across the keyboard and fuck ads up for everybody. And finally, our 4th option that might be the cause of the next Adpocalypse, Live and Wired. We've got 30 minutes on Twitter at Shado starting now. I will be sharing the link in the chat.
Also, someone recommended that we review the Descendants movies somewhere, and I'm looking for. Oh yeah, Southern Yaki said, "Creepy, you and Decker do the Disney's Descendants," and I think that might be. I mean, like, I would want to, if I ever was able to drag Decker into reviewing that, that would be something that I would want to do after the 3rd one came out. Also, Batboy52 dropped $2 and said, definitely Batman the Animated Series. And Ghost 0011 dropped $5 and said, have you seen Battle Angel Elite? Alita Battle Angel. Yeah.
No, I'm going to tomorrow.
Yeah.
If all goes well.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants Creepy to do Sonic Sat AM? Say F for yes. F.
Do you even know what that is, Decker?
Yes. I remember Sonic Sat AM.
Oh, I'm surprised that you even watched it.
A lot of people are saying the cat on the keyboard.
Anyway.
Rightsy. So, we got lots of other newsinators. I think I know how to work. N-word. We have a little more YouTube news if you want to get it out of the way right now.
Let's go ahead and get it out of the way right now. I'm in favor of getting it out of the way.
Should I open the article and just talk about it?
You know, I feel like you ask me these things just so you can cause more problems for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and open the article.
All right. It's from KBTX. Here we go. Fun, fun, fun. Happy, happy, happy.
Oh, goody.
So, I guess this is my article to read.
You brought this up, so yeah.
YouTube Kids is supposed to be a safe place for children to grab a bit of screen time, maybe watch some Paw Patrol or sing along to Baby Shark. But recently, several parents have discovered disturbing videos on the site, one making them question how safe a place it is. The videos in question have a 9-second clip edited into them of a man giving advice on how to properly slit your wrists. Remember, kids, sideways for attention, long ways for results. End it. Parents not closely monitoring what their children are watching could easily miss the message because it quickly returns to what looks like a regular video. Mom, pediatrician Free Hess, posted the clip of her Pedimom website and social media accounts. The original video has since been removed from YouTube and YouTube Kids, but there's nothing stopping someone from posting another like it. It makes me angry and sad and frustrated, Hess told CNN. I'm a pediatrician, and I'm seeing more and more kids coming in with self-harm and suicide attempts. I don't doubt that social media and things such as this is contributing. The website for YouTube Kids promises a safer online experience for kids. We use a mix of filters, user feedback, and human reviewers to keep the videos in YouTube Kids family-friendly, but no system is perfect, and inappropriate videos can slip through. So we're constantly working to improve our safeguards and offer more features to help parents create the right experience for their families. YouTube Kids. On her blog, Hess says self-harm and suicidal promoting content is a big problem. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in individuals between the ages of 10 and 34, and the numbers of children exhibiting some form of self-harm is growing rapidly, as said. Every year, 157,000 young people between the ages of 10 and 24 present to emergency departments for self-inflicted injuries and or suicide attempts. She said it's important for parents to educate themselves and be vigilant in monitoring what their children watch. That way, they can report inappropriate content to social media platforms so it can be pulled. And yeah, that's that. That is that. So, Jacob Kennedy says, "Family friendly, my ass." And yeah, my opinion on that, it's like it's the problem. Like they said in the thing, they use a combination where they have human intervention is a part of it, but you really do need actual people to watch each and every single one of them that you have going onto YouTube Kids, because YouTube Kids is moderated in a similar way to the rest of YouTube, where algorithms do the blunt of the work, and algorithms are stupid.
I'm like, so this is YouTube Kids, which basically means you have all the problems of YouTube aimed at young children. Let's stop and think for a moment about why this hasn't gotten worse already. I'm like, YouTube Kids.
Yeah, SJS34 says, you can post porn on YouTube if you make it educational. That is a thing. There is plenty of just straight up nudity, like naked yoga, but it's educational naked yoga. YouTube recommend Bad Boy 52 dropped $5 saying YouTube recommending inappropriate bits to kids. Who would have thought?
Hey, your child was looking for videos on naked yoga earlier, so YouTube Kids has sent them a bunch of recommendations.
Oh boy. Jacob Kennedy says the system has more holes than the Bismarck. And yeah, the thing is like there's plenty of false positives, but there's also plenty of things that slip through. There's always people saying, well, there's so much uploaded to YouTube all the time. You really can't expect people to moderate the whole thing. They need some automation in there. It's like, yeah, but the automation can't be the be-all, end-all final result. And if you're doing something like, here's the kids section, here's what we are saying is fine and dandy and safe for you, it's not, it doesn't just, you can't just say the robot has this. It's fine.
Right.
I have a robot vacuum. It works great. I still have to move the cords out of its fucking way.
Right.
It's going to try and suck it up and break itself.
Also, I think Daniel Olson said it best. YouTube is not a babysitter. This is basically, this is like 20, 30, this is like 30 years ago. I think it's 30 years, 30 and 40 years ago when, the statement was television is not a babysitter. It's like, no, it isn't. YouTube is the same thing. YouTube is not a babysitter.
John Ratsey says, I blame Momo for all this shit going on for YouTube. But I think Momo is also like the name of a kid's show. And I think that's like what caused the robot to get confused. It's like it either is the name or is very close to the name. I don't remember back in the day when you wanted to watch someone naked on TV, you needed either cable or a stash of VHS. Kids nowadays have it too easy. Point at the click of the button.
I just like,
FBI says activating Adpocalypse. Oh boy. Actually, let me check. Do we still have ads on this stream? Don't have any. I'll show you. Don't have any for. Okay, view live now. I just want to see. Okay, it still shows a green dollar sign. We're still okay. That's rare, actually. I was expecting a yellow because that's almost every time.
Right.
As soon as we go live, it turns yellow. Parents need to tell children not to play in traffic. YouTube recommendation: traffic.
Oh my God, Lupicilio, thank you. Lupicilio said, the Hollywood Video in my neighborhood didn't have a porn section, but the family video store did. Well, obviously.
But with the algorithm just not knowing what it's doing, there's the things that are done in a way that look like it's specifically to troll and fuck with YouTube kids. Then there's the things that just get put on YouTube kids that anyone knows it's not made for kids.
Right.
But YouTube Kids doesn't know any better and will put it there. And it reminds me of, like, in the 90s where, Blockbuster was... some Blockbusters were stocking Beavis and Butthead in the kids section because it's a cartoon.
Right. Or, back in the days when anime was still a new thing and you had a Miyazaki movie right next to Urotsuki Doji and La Blue Girl.
Oh, God, yeah, here we go. Should I watch My Little Pony or Devil Hunter Yoko? And not kidding, that is how I found Devil Hunter Yoko. It's awesome.
I just want to be clear, this is, like, a parent thought, like, even the title, just like a parent read the title, Devil Hunter Yoko, and thought, well, it's a cartoon, so it's probably safe.
Oh, jeez. That one had a lot of tits in it.
It did. A lot of tits.
Unfortunately, all the sequel Devil Hunter Yokos are just never really any good compared to the first, but oh well.
Well, there were like 5 episodes. I think 5 or 6. So.
Yeah, but the first was like really nice. It had a whole bunch of storyline and stuff in it, and all the rest were basic at best. They work more like it's sort of as an excuse to bring the characters out again and show their tits. Which I understand the appeal of, but I'm like, they had a whole lot of shit going on in the first one with the grandmother and the fucking demon world and all this shit and all these different things layered together. And now it's like, okay, I've got to go out and fight some stuff and show my tits.
I did think that Devil Hunter Yoko could have been something cool, but I didn't feel like it really... I was more, like, reading about it online, it sounded more interesting than it actually turned out to be. So, yeah.
John Washburn says, I remember walking in on my young cousin watching Legend of the Overfiend on VHS. His parents bought it without realizing what it was.
Oh, man!
Oh, boy.
Oh! have to wipe tears out of my eyes now. That is funny. Was it the first movie? Because there were a lot of Legend of the Over. There was like a whole series of movies.
Oh Jesus! Batboy52 dropped $5 saying Netflix recommends Happy Tree Friends as a kids' cartoon. And yeah, that's an example of something that it clearly, if you've seen it, you know it was not made for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have no idea what you're doing and you just try to figure it out on a second and just put it in a section, like you're a robot or a very bad employee at a video store. Happy Tree Friends. So there's Giggles, and there's Flippy, and so just right there.
Yeah. Or like you said, a video store clerk who doesn't know what he's doing. In other words, a video store clerk.
Lipicillo says, Happy Tree Friends is the itchy and scratchy of the 2000s. Oh, yeah, but it's a bit gorier. Just a tad. Needles and eyes, intestines everywhere. Oh. Giggles is my favorite, by the way.
I remember the first time I was like in, I think I might have been like 23 when I finally saw La Blue Girl. And, keep in mind, this was back when anime was a bit harder to come by than it is now. Like, you had to actually send away for it, So you would get back, like, VHS tapes that may or may not be of, any, like, semi-decent quality. And then I was like, okay, so here's La Blue Girl. Fine, I've heard, so many jokes and so much about this this hentai series, good and bad, so I will at least be able to sit and watch it on my own and enjoy it. And then I got through the first episode, and I'm just like, what did I just watch? I remember I was just...
Oh, God.
Like, there were parts of it that were good, but I also just remember some of it was just really confusing.
Vanestine 100 says, you watch My Little Pony? YouTube recommends Watership Down. It has bunnies.
Oh, man.
And Goku's on DBZ is like, have you ever seen Bible Black? I've heard of it, but I have not seen, like, any of it, I don't think. So... Oh, we should probably talk about some other news. There's lots of news.
There is.
Okay. Oh, yes. There's all the different things I listed in the title card. Maybe we should probably talk about that before it gets too late. We did talk about Terminator 6. There's also the new Ghostbusters.
Again.
Another Ghostbusters. Is this Ghostbusters 3 or 4? Because it follows Ghostbusters 2, but so did the Ghostbusters video game, technically. So does this follow the Ghostbusters video game? Or I'm not entirely certain. Either way, Jason Reitman says his version of Ghostbusters will hand the movie back to the fans. You want to take this on, Creepy?
If I must. The last thing that Sony wants with the upcoming Ghostbusters sequel slated for summer 2020 is to repeat what happened with Paul Feig's doomed 2016 reboot, not saying anything about the quality of the film, as each film fan is entitled to their own opinion, unjustly biased or not, but Sony's last attempt to bring the Ghostbusters franchise back was met with some serious backlash from a vocal group of fans.
I hate having to bring it up every single time because I haven't seen the actual... I have not seen Ghostbusters 2016 yet, but I've heard plenty from my fiancée about her time when she went to see it. My fiancée wasn't invested in Ghostbusters, didn't see the originals, didn't care. Her mother brought her along because her mother was really excited about the 2016 movie. My fiancée says it sucked, and her mother says it was boring as shit. So... I still have to watch it, though.
Right. Also, real quick, Dantastic dropped $2 and said, Ghostbusters 3 with 12-year-olds. Actually, they did something similar to that in the Ghostbusters animated series from the
real
80s
Ghostbusters?
From the real Ghostbusters, except they were called the Junior Ghostbusters, and nobody liked them, to the best of my knowledge. Vocal group of fans, vocal being an understatement. And apparently the studio learned a lesson from that. I think that might be the funniest line I've read all night. And has hired the 1984 film's original director's son, Jason Reitman, to bring the franchise back to a place where fans will be happy. Because directing movies is genetic. And when you hear Jason Reitman describe the incredibly detailed way he's going to bring the franchise back to its roots, it's clear the new director is catering to those same folks that cried sacrilege when Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, and Harold Ramis were replaced by gasp 4 women. Scroll down. Thank you. I'm not making the Juno of Ghostbusters movies, says the director, while being interviewed on a recent episode of the Bill Burr podcast. From there, Reitman discusses the painstaking lengths he's willing to go to bring the original look and feel to the new Ghostbusters film. Needless to say, hiring the son of the original director means that the studio is getting a very reverential sequel in 2020. This is going to be a love letter to Ghostbusters, says Reitman. There are a lot of statements in this article, I want to say, that kind of make me go...
You're not saying anything about what the movie's going to be like.
Right. I'm like, Yeah. I love this franchise. I grew up watching it. I consider myself the first Ghostbusters fan. I was like 7 years old when that movie came out, and I loved it. I want to make a movie for my fellow Ghostbusters fans. He continued by discussing the amount of work that went into creating the short teaser that was released earlier this year. He said, we went back to the work files for the sound of the proton pack, and we went back to the stems of Elmer Bernstein's, there we go, score just for where it says in the teaser, summer 2020. We went back and found the original physical vinyl letters they used to create the Ghostbusters poster in 1984. Rescanned them, and then our titles guys reprinted them. We filmed the titles, not like in a computer. We shot physical tiles with a light and smoke effect because that's how they would have done it back in the day.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Cool. I mean, interesting, but again,
doesn't really tell you what the movie's about.
All right. We are in every way trying to go back to the original technique and hand the movie back to the fans. Okay, you've said this statement at least 5 times already.
You see, if the 2016 Ghostbusters was full of men and the special effects were done traditionally, everyone would have loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I actually, it was not great, but I didn't hate it. And to be honest with you, I kind of felt like there were some things in the movie that were done better than in the original. Like, I did like the idea of there being an ordinary human, using tech to make ghosts more powerful in an effort to, further his own ends. I felt like that was something that would have worked really well for the original film, the first film. But if you talk about changing the first film in any way, well, we've already seen what happens.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, if
FBI is asking for results on the vote, and it's still got 8 minutes to go.
Right. I had actually forgot to ask about that. I'm glad someone remembered. Okay. Also, Scott Duncan, to put a saying to sum up Ghostbusters 20 thing. If you like it, 2016. If you like it, you are wrong. If you didn't like it, you are wrong. And Toby Kirk V said, no creepy, no bad creepy. Jason Point. FHJ said, X9000 said, Ghostbusters 3, The Quest for More Money. And Batboy52 dropped a $5 chat. Ghostbusters 2016 had some decent jokes, but just felt really forced.
Also, Alexia Mitchell dropped $2 earlier saying, Midnight Wank Theater update.
I have sent a script off to Kendall. The reason I have not gotten a recording back from him yet is because he has a cold. He lives in Portland. There's been a lot of snow there lately, and he ended up catching a cold, so he's kind of, still in recovery, getting his voice back. His voice doesn't sound all that great right now, so we're waiting for him to get better. But he does have the script. He is going to get it to me as soon as he can, he says.
Okay. Ooh. So, yeah, new Ghostbusters. I'm interested-ish. I don't know. It's not like something that I'm going to say, I have to go out and see it day one. Like, I remember the first Ghostbusters way back when. I remember seeing the second way back when. And that's kind of where I stopped. I never really became a huge Ghostbusters fan. I was like, it's a nice movie. And now that there's just such a big thing where you have to plant your flag, you have to take a faction, you have to fight the fight. And I'm not interested in it. I just want to see some movies, guys. So that's actually kind of kept me away.
I remember, believe it or not, I was more of a fan of the animated shows than the movies.
I didn't watch the animated series, actually.
Yeah, I watched
I did have some toys, though. I had the toilet.
Mm-hmm. I watched the animated series when it came on Saturday mornings, and I did not watch Extreme Ghostbusters when it first aired because I don't think it was airing in any, on any of the channels that we got when it first came on. I don't think it was on, available in the area where I lived, but I did watch it years old. Someone told me about it after it had already gone off the air, and then I was able to watch it a few years later, and I did like it, but I like that too. But I found myself more of a fan of the animated series than the movies.
Justin Joyce says there's going to be a new Critters movie. Oh yeah, I think I heard about that last year when I was doing the filming of the signing at the Killer Clowns from Outer Space remastered Blu-ray kind of.
Wasn't this on the list in the list of articles?
I don't know. But I remember them talking about it back then. There's a lot of stuff, rumblings about the Critters, along with any news on Killer Clowns and Killer Clowns news. There's supposed to be some stuff going down this year. Supposed to be Killer Clown. Yeah.
It's weird because I thought I remembered. Shudder will be releasing a Critters series.
Yes.
I was thinking there was something Critters related in here.
Okay, so we got another bit from the title card to fantastic, drop $2. Did you hear about the Gremlins animated series? I think that's in here somewhere, actually. I think, okay, we could cover that. Weird. Okay, I just lost my place. Patricia, save me!
It's too late. She's gone.
Dang it. New trailer Dark Fate, trailer Pokemon, Shado release, it's Chapter 2, it's Uncharted, Rambo, Pokemon, Dune, Wandering Earth. I shouldn't be saying exactly everything that's on the news, as we're spoiling it. Fuck. Where the hell did the... I swear it was here. Wait. Gremlins animated series.
I saw it earlier when I was going through.
I'm just flip. Where the hell is this thing? Patricia, tell me where to look. Okay, found it. Thanks, Patricia. Okay.
He called upon our Lord and Savior, Patricia.
So, boom. Warner Bros. Is developing a Gremlins animated series. As Warner Brothers plans to launch its own premium streaming service, the studio is reportedly developing an animated Gremlins prequel series. The planned series will take place sometime before its events of the 1984 original film, with the lead Mogwai, Gizmo, in the care of a young Mr. Wing before the adorable critter is passed on to his next owner. The series is being written and executive produced by Se Chu, Gotham and Once Upon a Time. The cult classic, I wouldn't call it a cult classic, it's just a classic. Told the story of a young man who acquires Gizmo, learning that he will spawn monstrous other creatures if he comes into contact with water. Well,
and then proceeds to do that very thing.
Yeah. A success, the film received a sequel in 1990, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. A feature film, a success. But a success, cult classic, success. Okay. A feature film reboot of the franchise has reportedly been in development at Warner Bros. For the past 3 years, with Chris Columbus of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone fame attached to direct. It's unknown if this new planned animated series will impact the actual production of it, as a shift the studio's plans for the franchise. The Warner Media streaming service is expected to launch sometime by the end of 2019. R-rated animated series of Alien? Yay, but animated. Why? Anyway. Well, like, there's that weird alien isolation thing that's somehow become a... They pretty much took the cutscenes from Alien Isolation and they're presenting that as a CGI alien movie thing. It's weird. Very weird.
Mm.
So, okay, Batboy52 dropped $5 saying, you know what I want? An Alien TV series, but not Covenant. It needs to be OG Ridley. So OG Ridley or OG Ripley?
I don't know.
Like, not Covenant. Covenant was Ridley. That was Ridley. That was very Ridley. Okay. Goku's asks, so Warner Brothers is starting up a streaming service to compete with Disney's streaming service. I feel like every time a whole bunch of companies are trying to rush in and compete with each other on the same kind of thing. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in like the computer gaming scene, where there's the Epic Game Store and Origin and the Bethesda Game Store now. Because I mean, Steam was just Valve's game store that used to have just Valve stuff, and then everyone got on it, and it's done really well for Valve. They've made a whole hell of a lot of money, and so there's a whole bunch of other stores popping up, which I think is good. That's competition. Seems like Epic Game Store is doing well right now, so that's good. Origin didn't really take off because who likes EA?
Right.
Nobody.
But I feel like, all these different big companies trying to make their own exclusive, streaming service, I feel like this is just waiting to backfire.
Streaming services aren't cheap to keep going.
Right.
So.
I've known a lot of people who dropped either Netflix or Hulu because they were like, I can't have a subscription to Netflix and Hulu and Crunchyroll and the DC streaming service and the Disney streaming service and now the Warner Brothers streaming service. So I'm like, it's like all of this piles up.
Adam Wolford asks, how about animated Aliens vs. Predator based on the original Dark Horse comics? That would be nice. Especially if you can get that synthetic xenomorph that smokes cigars. They had that in the comics. It was a synthetic who was shaped like a xenomorph, and he had a thing for smoking cigars. That's pretty much the only way you could tell that he was a synthetic, because he's there with a fucking cigar in his mouth the whole time.
I thought that was just a gag someone did a sketch of. No,
that was a recurring character in the comics. FBI says it was called...
Moving on.
So, yes, well, there are other sequels. Can you believe it? Sequels! Sequel returns! Which sequel is returning right now? Well, first, let's get on the poll results, actually.
Oh, good.
Okay, so we had a total of 52 votes. Now, what will threaten to cause the next Adpocalypse? Coming in at number one with 35% of the vote, a cat walking on the keyboard. Coming in at number 2, at 27%, Live and Wired itself. 21% goes to those evil robotic YouTubers doing evil things, and for that we must remove all ads. And 17%, still a very respectable number for last place on such a close race, the Manscaped ads. Batboy52 dropped $5 saying he meant OG Ridley as in how he directed the first movie. The classic horror is what drew them into the movie, and we haven't really seen that since. And yeah, I think Ridley Scott has a really good artistic eye, but that is like all we got from Prometheus and Covenant. It was a combination of Ridley Scott's artistic eye combined with Geiger's art, and with the original script penned and how it all came together. Everything just worked on a great harmony to make the original Alien. And then James Cameron kind of explained in the way and made a really nice movie, but the Alien itself was a lot scarier in the original. So it's a good movie, but I really liked the way the Alien was in the original. I also really liked how the Alien in the Jaguar AVP game was actually a lot closer to how the Alien acted in the original, in the deleted scenes. Like, you could create, in order to have an extra life in AVP as the Alien on the Jaguar, what you would have to do is you'd have to attack a human in a certain combination, and that turned them into an ovomorph. You merged the human being into an alien egg. And if you died, you would then respawn there. You would be birthed from them and continue your game. It was nice. Of course, I'd just end up going around turning everyone into eggs. They didn't stop me, so fuck it.
Anyway.
So yes.
What's next on the list?
Robert Murphy on Twitter is saying it's a toss-up between the man crotch ads and Live and Wired, but clearly Live and Wired was the only choice for a force to destroy YouTube. And Sean Joy says, let's be real here, the cats are going to take us down one of these days. And Kat Luniska says she did it and has a nice picture of a cat, but I'm looking at this on my Surface, so I can't screen share because I'm an idiot. Dang it. It's a very nice Siamese cat.
Aww.
Okay, Anthony Watson says, in a crossover, I want to see Creepy and Decker to fuse and review a movie as one being. Okay, Creepy, what about the Human Centipede? What do you think?
So you want to fuse together and then review the Human Centipede?
Yes.
Like, are you talking about, like, do we do the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z, or what?
Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. Or your ass.
If we're fused together, who knows? How can we tell?
Anywho, let us share some more sequel news.
Oh, brother.
Surely these two can have their comedy about being, like, teenage boys.
Okay, let's go. I know this one is mine. According to MovieWeb, Bill and Ted 3, titled Bill and Ted Face the Music, these titles get more and more ironic every day.
Oh, God. We got a $28 super chat from Savage Tiger 13 saying, okay, time for a bad joke. Reason number 7 why William Shatner can't be a history teacher. And in 1215, the Jin capital of Zhongdu was attacked by the infamous Genghis Khan! Okay.
Anyway, Bill and Ted Face the Music will start production this spring. If so, it's possible the movie could be ready for a Christmas release. Stars Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves will reprise their roles as the title characters. Keanu Reeves will have to fit filming of Bill and Ted 3 in with his promotional tour for John Wick 3, so he has a busy future ahead. Those are words you can't expect to say very often. The first installment in the series, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, premiered 30 years ago on February 17th, 1989. It was followed by the sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, in 1991.
Now it's Bill and Ted's cash grab.
Mm-hmm. In the third film, our title characters are now middle-aged dads who are wondering why their lives didn't turn out as planned.
Well, that's a big thing to wonder. They had fucking time travel. They saw how it worked.
Yeah. They have yet to write the greatest song ever written, although a visitor from the future warns them that their song is needed to save life as we know it.
It's Bill and Ted. Clearly that's how it works.
Oh, that hurt me. That hurt me inside to say out loud. Oh. The duo set out on a time-traveling adventure to find that song and restore harmony to the universe. They find much more than a song. Ouch.
So they find some food along the way? Chicken nuggets? I could go for some chicken nuggets. Anthony Watson says, sounds stupid.
Thank you, Anthony Watson.
Oh, God. Dr. Dune says, they were the Wild Stallions. Their music made world peace in the series. And yeah, they didn't... By the time they were middle-aged, the world was excellent. I would want that movie. I want the movie where it takes place in the excellent world, and then something happens, and they have to do maybe a kind of passing of the torch to the next pair of, delinquents that have the future that they're going to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Boy 52 dropped $5 saying, didn't Tenacious D already make a movie about that, though?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Was the Tenacious D movie. Also, I'm one of those people who actually thought I have seen both movies, and I was never a huge fan of either, but I actually thought Bogus Journey was the better movie of the two.
I don't know. I feel like as a coherent story, the first movie certainly was better, but I did enjoy Bogus Journey a lot more than a lot of people were like, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is one of the greatest films, and Bogus Journey is one of the worst. I'm like, nah, they're pretty similar. I give the hand to Excellent Adventure for being a nice sit down, watch, and enjoy. Bogus Journey, you're going to sit there like, a lot.
Yeah. I just, I felt
Southern Yankee says, does Ted find out he is the one and takes the red pill?
See, that's how much I didn't care about these movies. I didn't know which one was Bill and which one was Ted.
Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Anthony Hudak is asking, please review Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, in preparation for the King of the Monsters movie. Goku's on DBZ says the Green Reaper is the reason I like Bogus Journey.
That was another thing that Bogus Journey had that the first movie didn't have. It had the Grim fucking Reaper.
Best 5 out of 9? You're damn right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it had the fucking Grim Reaper as a supporting cast member, okay? Better movie than the first one.
I haven't thought about a review of the Matrix trilogy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one that would be nice. So, the second and third movies of the Matrix just went kind of weird side. Like, those Matrix 2 and 3 work in their own world. They don't really work with the first movie, though. Like, there are things in the first movie that just don't translate well to 2 and 3. 2 and 3 were clearly made with each other in mind, but the first movie was made by itself.
Right. There's also the fact that, reviewing the Matrix movies would be a change of pace from reviewing all of the movies that were made to cash in on the Matrix phenomenon.
Oh, God. Jack Brand says, Bill and Ted's Final Adventure with Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, boy. Oh boy. Yes. We got more stuff. There's actually an interesting thing like going on more recently. This isn't really an article, but it's a thing going on. I think that it's a nice thing to talk about on the Live in the Wyatts.
Spit it out.
I'm killing time while I set up the screen share. So,
the hell?
We got an Ask Tim online event going on with Tim Curry, where evidently on this site, fanimo.com/product/ask-tim-curry-event, we've got a little Q&A with Tim Curry going on in a bit under a month. And they've got several tiers, where it's like for $10 you can ask him like a question and listen to, I guess it's live. And $30 you get a T-shirt, and $130 you'll also get another T-shirt and a lithograph. So I think the $10 is probably the best thing. just my opinion there. I don't really need a Tim Curry T-shirt. He looks like he's judging me, though. It's like, how dare you say just give the 10? The 130 is clearly worth it. Clearly.
I looked when I saw when the page finally came up, I thought there was this angry old woman staring at me.
That's Tim Curry, you heathen.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's Tim Curry, but I mean, like, damn, has he got a judgmental face on right now?
Well, he's had to spend his whole life as Tim Curry. He is sick of everyone's shit at this point.
Okay, that's fair, yeah. Although having him stare at me this way, I feel like I should go stand in a corner, you know? I mean it. I'm like, Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, okay. I was worried for a second there that we got cut off. I'm sorry.
Stopping the screen sharing.
Okay. But yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
We got a couple of super chats, by the way. Let's see. Southern Yankee. I keep wanting to say Southern Yankee. Southern Yankee dropped $2.99 and said, review the Medea movies, both creepy and Decker.
Which movies are the Medea movies? Because I'm just thinking of Medea.
Yeah. I think that's who they're talking about.
Okay. Why? I don't think that's my... Is it? Has Medea like gone to space with jetpacks and lasers?
That I'm not sure about. Lazarus Soul 82 dropped $4.99 and said, Bill and Ted enter Wayne's World. It's a porn.
And it gets on YouTube Kids. Also, Batboy 52 dropped $5 and said, speaking of remakes and sequels, when are you going to review the 2011 Conan? Oh, damn, I gotta do that. I really do. That is, yes. Probably should actually tackle the new, what was it called again? Jeez, the one with the dead thing. It's like, it was a classic, and then they redid it, and everyone's like, this sucks. I just describe most movies these days.
I was going to say, I thought that you were just describing the remake. Because have you reviewed the other live-action Conan movies?
Oh, yeah, I did the other Conan movies with the Summer of Schwarzenegger.
Right. Now I remember. Yeah, that was it. I was thinking you had, but I was like...
I mean, it gets confusing. The Summer of Schwarzenegger took it until November.
That's true. But, yeah. Okay, but yeah, like you reviewed all of the Conan films, and I was like, which is too bad because there's enough Conan material to review to make it like a whole month or something. Because there's Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer. There was
Red Sonja.
There's the remake, and there's almost.
Oh God, what was?
There's almost.
There was going to be the third Conan movie. Became Kull the Conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
Right. So there's almost enough material here to make a Conan summer. Like this, like there's the two live actions, there's Red Sonja, there's Kull the Conqueror, there's the remake, and then there was a Conan animated series and a sequel animated series. There was Conan the Conan the Adventurer, I think, or something like that. It was an anime series, and then they made a sequel to it called Conan and the Young Warriors, which lasted for 13 episodes. And then there was a live-action Conan series that lasted for 1, maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah. Adam Wolford says there's the TV show and animated series of Conan.
Right. There was a TV series, and there was a...
Hold on, I hear the cats being assholes.
Oh, okay. So, being cats. There was the live-action TV series that came out to capitalize on, all the sword and sorcery shows. Like Xena and Hercules kickstarted this whole phenomenon where they were trying to, make shows basically it was TV's cash grab. So it was kind of like what we're discussing tonight. And that was there. So that's like at least 8, different movies or TV shows that could be covered. That is actually a lot of Conan. Also, Batboy52 dropped $2 and said, "Don't forget Korgoth of Barbaria." I don't remember that one, actually. Oh, yeah, Savage Tiger 13. You said Beastmaster had the ferrets. Yes, that's right. Decker's already reviewed Beastmaster, actually. He covered that several years ago. And now he's back, and he brought the cat with him.
Oh yeah, Tara and Dobby were on the table fighting and knocking shit over, so I took Tara in here. just a little issue with a live show. Sometimes shit happens.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, as I was saying, that is the story of how I learned that Decker is really circumcised.
Let's move on. So, geez. There was this one thing that we got the... Patricia found this little campaign on Kickstarter, this article on Slate about it, where for Departed, there was... Evidently, the ending was a little on the nose, where they find the rat, and then there's a rat, like a literal rat, walking on the street, because they found the rat that they were looking for. So there's a Kickstarter to kind of make an updated version of that movie that digitally remove the rat so that the movie can just be good, better. But evidently the Kickstarter has been deleted at this point. So you're just going to have to deal with your fucking rat.
Dark Necrosis says, "For a moment I thought Decker was going to prove him wrong." And Lord of Pearl Triton says, "You will never top that creepy."
We are definitely going to be the cause of the next apocalypse. Oh man. But yeah, there's some. Speaking of being disappointed and not getting exactly what you want, it's sad. So, Visceral's canceled Star Wars game, quote, was a lot farther along than people even got a glimpse of, unquote. Project Ragtag director Amy Kenning talks about its rise and fall. I wish people could have seen more of it. That is sad. That's the sadness. Full of sadness and sad. No, don't show notification. I don't care about your notification. There we go. So, which one of us is taking this? I don't know.
The Visceral Star Wars game, Project Red Tag Uncharted meets Star Wars. Whatever name you use, it's just as disappointing that we'll never get to play it. And a new US Gamer interview with Amy.
What is this bar here? It's a link. Know. It's a link. I'm tempted to find out where it goes, except I know it's just sharing, and if it goes somewhere horrible, then it's going to be bad.
I'm like... I'm tempted to just say, go ahead and click on it. Anyway, Amy Hennig, okay, the former creative director of the project, makes its absence feel just as keen as the day EA announced the change of direction and developer, as if millions of voices cried out, etc., etc. We'd really like another great Star Wars game one of these years. As far as rose-colored memories of the LucasArts days go, there was a particular appeal to EA's Project Ragtag, a big-budget cinematic action-adventure game following a charismatic hero. Didn't we cover this on Live and Wired sometime or another?
Yeah, there was the cancellation news, the rumblings of it, and then this is the news. This particular article, going over it again, is like, oh yeah, by the way, it was a hell of a lot further along than you might have thought.
Mm-hmm.
It was canceled, like, at least 70% into it.
Right, okay. So basically, they let them get, like, the bulk of the work done, canceled it, fired everybody, and now they're going to take the game and basically put their own spin on it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And Hennig didn't deny the common comparisons to her work on the first 3 Uncharted games, noticing also how EA's internal development structure wasn't set up to support it. I think Visceral was sort of beset with a lot of challenges. Hennig said, even though we were making a game, people have said it was an Uncharted Star Wars. That's sort of reductive, but it's useful because people can kind of visualize something in their heads. But what that meant is that we obviously had to take the Frostbite engine because there was the internal initiative to make sure that everybody was on the same technology, but it was an engine that was made to do first-person shooters, not third-person traversal cinematic games. Okay. We had to build all of that third-person platforming and climbing and cover and talking and all of that stuff into an engine that wasn't made to do that. We did a lot of foundation work that I think the teams are still benefiting from because it's a shared engine, but it's tough when you spend a lot of time doing foundational stuff but then don't get to go, ta-da, here's the game. Despite all that, Hennig said that the project was going along fine before the end. She did mention that the development style she'd grown accustomed to at Naughty Dog, going out on limbs to see what works and occasionally turning around to say, holy crap, we did it, never quite gelled with EA's approach to management and control. Another business-driven disconnect later brought about the end of the project. Okay. That actually brings to mind something, but I'm going to save it for when the article's done.
Okay, FBI says one last request before they sign off. Decker, review the frickin' Saw series! Also, Bad Boy 52 dropped $5 saying, doesn't matter what kind of Star Wars game anyone makes, if one ever gets released, they'll never be able to top Knights of the Old Republic. And I remember that was good. I remember the weird thing where it's like you can set it to turn-based, kinda, or real-time, and if you set it to real-time, prepare to get your ass kicked, because holy shit, they're fast. At least maybe I'm not good, I don't know.
Apologies for the shaky cam. My behind was falling asleep. I needed to adjust. That's more than any of you wanted to know, and therefore I'm sharing it with you. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I wish people could have seen more of it because it was a lot further along than people ever got a glimpse of, Hennig said. And it was good, you know, but it just didn't make sense in EA's business plan. Ultimately, things changed over the course of that time I was there, so, you know, what can you do? Hennig has moved on from EA by the time the team at EA Vancouver took the lead on the rebooted Star Wars project before it was reportedly canceled. But, she said, everything I've heard secondhand was the stuff they were making was really cool. Very different from what we were doing, obviously. Being sort of an open world experience is completely different, which he just said. But everyone I've talked to informally just said it was really, really cool. And it's really disappointing, just like it was disappointing that Ragtag got canceled. So who knows? Maybe these ideals will get resurrected. It's not like this stuff's getting erased. All that work is there. I would love to see what they were making, just as I'd love to see people see what we were making.
Sad.
Yeah. I remember... Okay, there was this many years ago.
Oh,
almost.
Jesus. Dr. Zippy McScooch says some ass just ran into a house with his car outside. ERB.
Holy shit.
I hope everything's all right.
Same here.
Oof.
Oh, anyway. Where was I? I had a thought. Oh, yeah. A little over 20, less than 20 years ago, there was a game that eventually came out called Daikatana, which I have tried many times to get Decker to play on his gaming channel, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. It seems that back in the day when this infamous game was being made, John Romero, that was his name. I was
Like,
almost.
who's making me his bitch? I am
Yeah,
Romero. There.
John. Yeah, I had to stop and think for a minute. Who is making me his bitch? John Romero. That's right. Yeah, always the best way to remember that name. John Romero had a very designer-centric vision of how video games would be made in the future. You know, especially in regards to his own company, Ion Storm, and some people have actually said that at least the concept of how he thought the future of game development should go were not bad. They were just very, very, very poorly implemented, mainly due to the fact that John Romero did not know how to run a company. He could make a good game, but he couldn't run a company and make a good game at the same time. So a lot of, but like, I can kind of understand where he's coming from, especially in these days when you hear about crap like this happening, you kind of feel like that maybe John Romero might have been onto something after all, as painful as it may be to say that out loud. Decker, thoughts, comments?
Class says Romero is overrated. Justin Joyce says Carmack equals left brain, Romero equals right brain. I don't know what's going on with the people's opinions of what side of brain does what, except the left side of the brain works the right side of the body. I don't know. So I just assume it's all in the higher thinking sections in the frontal lobes for both of them. That's just me. Maybe I'm more lizard brain. I just kind of react to shit. So how you doing, Creepy?
Well, we were talking about video games, and then you started talking about reptile brains.
Yeah.
Patricia, what did I ever do to you? Was it really that bad? Did I deserve this?
Okay, Daniel DB631 says brain is not amused. Okay, so I'm kind of what they described, like some sort of Uncharted style Star Wars game, actually sounds really cool, especially if, because it's Star Wars, you take the time to have some decent melee combat, lightsaber-y style, as well as blaster combats. That's always fun. I mean, not always. Sometimes it's done really poorly, but usually fun. So, what would it cost EA to do a remastered version of the WW2 Medal of Honor games? Remastered. How remastered are we talking here? Are we talking updated textures? Are we talking updated models and textures? Are we talking updated models, textures, and gameplay? Or up the resolution and port it? Okay. Batboy52 says that was done already, though. It was called Force Unleashed. So
tonight on Live and Wired, Decker makes funny noises.
Yes,
and impersonates Tim Allen.
There's also some stuff about other canceled games that very strangely kind of popped up. This isn't entirely confirmed 100%, but it's like there's a lot of weird little sources for this, and it's kind of strange to hear this come up again. But Shabadoo. Nicholas Walker also dropped $2 saying, can you guys talk about the THQ Nordic AMA? Oh God, Creepy, did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
The THQ Nordic was doing an AMA, and usually when you do AMAs, you do them on like Reddit or Twitter. Well, for some reason, someone at THQ Nordic said, you know, it would be really good for our public image. Let's do it on 8chan. You know, the other 4chan, where they're not quite as hard on things like, you know, CP.
You mean like that site where we found all of the comments about us and then we read them out loud?
No, that was 4chan. That was the moderated one. 8chan's the one where they're like, you know what? Just because it's illegal doesn't mean you can't say it.
Oh, really?
So yeah, there's like what the fuck happened? Did someone hack THQ Nordic's Twitter? And they're like, no, that was actually real. Like, oh, fuck. So, I don't know if that AMA ever actually even happened, but there was some shit about that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Does anyone besides me have a headache?
Evidently, there are rumors rumbling that some say have very good sources, but keep in mind they are still rumors, and someone saying they have good sources doesn't mean that someone does have good sources. It means they do have good sources, that doesn't mean their source knows everything. So, remember Scalebound? Remember how that was being made by Platinum Games as an exclusive for the Xbox One, and then after a while, it just wasn't made because Microsoft was like, we need this to be more multiplayer, and Platinum was like, but we designed a single-player game, and then Microsoft was like, well, fucking never mind then. Well, there are some reports saying that it's actually going to be brought back. This
Damn
time,
it, Decker, how many more times do you have to talk about Earth Defense Force 5?
God damn it. This time it's saying it's maybe coming back to the Switchy Switch. Well, I mean, not back to the Switch. It was never on the Switch. But you know what I mean. It was never out in the first place. So, 9th of January 2017, Microsoft Studios confirmed that after careful deliberation, it had come to the decision that to end production for Scalebound was yet another high-profile Xbox One exclusive that, along with Fable Legends, Microsoft had chosen to pull the plug on. The natural reaction was one of widespread disappointment. None more so than creator Hideki Kamiya, who, at long last, had the chance to express the love that he once had for fantasy games in high school. After the early excitement that the project was met with, when it was revealed on stage at E3 2014, Scalebound's abrupt end had left fans with more questions than answers. However, we can be thankful that making Kamiya's dream a reality is far from over. I have confidence in my sources to report that it is my understanding that Scalebound has been resurrected as a project to be released as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Given Microsoft's previous involvement, it remains unclear to me whether development has been completely rebooted from scratch, or at least its ambition scaled back, seeing as it's now designed for the nimble but less powerful portable home console. Further to this, I believe that Scalebound is likely to be the game that's thought to be dead that Nintendo's reviving, that Game Informer senior editor Imran Khan had hinted at on Kinda Funny Games last week. Although there is the chance that he could have heard about a different project that will be resuscitated. So in case he comes out and contradicts us, don't say that means we're wrong. Just keep that in mind. In the original concept of Scalebound, you were to play as Drew, who, while exploring the dangerous world of Draconis, is bonded to the fearsome and noble dragon Thuban, the last of his kind. Thrown together by fate, they must defeat the enemies that threaten their world. As far as I am aware, the Scalebound trademark was renewed but soon had to be abandoned thanks to Microsoft being unable to state what they would use it for. Ultimately, that has left the door open for another publisher to step in, and as part of ongoing discussions around the projects that Platinum Games could work on for Nintendo Switch, it was something that Nintendo expressed interest in. Without a doubt, Nintendo and Platinum Games have continued to build a close relationship with one another. On Wii U, the developer supported the ill-fated console with The Wonderful 101, Star Fox Zero, and Bayonetta 2, a sequel that the developer had expressed would not have existed without Nintendo support. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Whew. So, Bayonetta 3, Astral Chain, exclusive to the console, so they're also working on quite a bit on the Nintendo Switch already, which does bring into question exactly how would they go about balancing all of that together? So, yeah. Creepy, do you have any interest at all in any of this?
I looked at the photo and I thought, oh, good grief, here's another article about EDF5. Although I will say that this sounds like Dragon Rider the game.
As interesting as, like, there was all this stuff with Scalebound. Scalebound was something that I was kind of interested in, like, I don't have an Xbox, but I kind of regret it now that there's looks like a pretty cool game coming just to that. But I'm probably going to see about it come to PC anyway, because it's coming to Xbox. Fucking everything coming to Xbox comes to PC anyway. And then it's like, actually, it's not coming. I'm like, well, fuck. But now there's rumblings that it might be coming, but still, it's all rumors and rumors of rumors. And I'm not sure. I would like to see it, but I don't know. They say the trademark for Scalebound, held by Microsoft, expired, and that's true, but only in certain regions. Other regions, Microsoft still owns the trademark for Scalebound. So they could just name the game something else as well. They don't have to call it Scalebound.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Turn this Hollow 666 said creepy. Turn the speed down on Decker.
Why would you do that? Help me. Okay. Have you watched Deadly Class?
Actually,
no,
I'm kind of tempted to turn it back up now. Okay.
Dang it. Stop fiddling with my knobs. Dang it. So.
A needle pulling thread.
Dang it. So I feel like we should talk about more movie stuff. Yes, there we go. That is perfect. That is amazing. That is something I'm going to speak of in as generic as terms as possible until I can screen share. Boom.
Yeah, sing it with me, everybody. Everybody get up. It's time to jam now. It's time to slam. I got it wrong. Shame. Failure and shame. Okay, I'm over it. LeBron James's Spring Hill Entertainment announced Space Jam 2 is coming in 2021. When did this movie even come out again? Like the first one, it came out in like 90s.
90s something. I just got 90s.
I'm like 20. The second movie comes out 25 years later.
Oh god.
1996. Thank you, Chaos Chronicler. Thank you. Yes, I was thinking it was sometime around in there. Yeah, Space Jam came out in 1996, and oh man, and now 25 years later, we're getting a sequel. I'm assuming you want me to do this one, Decker.
Oh, absolutely.
We've known for months that the long-rumored Space Jam 2 is coming sometime in the future. But beyond that, details are sparse about what we'll see Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes back on the hardwood. I'm guessing it will involve the Looney Tunes and LeBron playing basketball.
Something going to happen. They're going to need a basketball player, and here he is. Okay.
Right. On Thursday night, however, we learned exactly when we'll get the chance to see the film. Spring Hill Entertainment, the company founded by LeBron James, who will star... I assume that says who will star in the film.
No, that's the end of the article. Bye.
Who will star in Space Jam 2, and his business associate, Maverick Carter. Okay, you know how there are these movies that are basically vanity projects to, so that, people can produce, direct, star in. Yeah, this is already giving me vibes like that. Anyway,
Bad Boy 52 is asking if we're going to review the live-action Lion King and Aladdin movies. Now, my fiance wants me to go bring her to see Lion King, because she's like, that's my favorite movie ever. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? And she's got like a Lion King tattoo on her neck. I'm like, oh, yeah. she got the Simba tattoo.
Anyway, Maverick Carter and LeBron James tweeted out a picture of James in a Toon Squad jersey with Bugs and Lola Bunny. I actually thought that they were just, they weren't even trying to make a different poster. They were just having him and Bugs and Lola pose in the same way as they did from the first one. They also included that the film's slated to be released during the summer of 2021.
So we're going to find out that in the last 15 years, they just, or actually
25
years, like Bugs and Lola have had like 80 kids. By the way, this is not super fast. This is I can barely afford a phone.
Okay, of course, a lot can happen between now and then to make the timetable to move the timetable for the film. We also don't know who will play the various roles in the movie. Although James did announce over All-Star Weekend that filming will begin this summer. It's bittersweet news because while it's awesome that everyone now knows when we can expect to see Space Jam 2, well, there's 29 months between now and then. Bittersweet news is that... Never mind. Still, it's cool that we know what we can expect to see LeBron team up with the Looney Tunes in a highly anticipated sequel. That is a debatable statement. To the 1996 film starring Michael Jordan. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go listen to Hit 'em High a few dozen times.
Oh, boy. Scott Duncan says Space Jam 2 Resurgence.
Oh, man.
And Sodamaster says that I'm cheating on you, Creepy, because I have a fiancé.
I give you permission.
Yeah. Scott Yoshihara says, so furry fan service. Got it. It's Lola Bunny. There's just going to be plenty of new Lola Bunny art everywhere. Remember Bowsette? Think of that with gravities. And basketballs. Lots of basketballs.
Jesse Guajardo, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. I believe it's Jesse Guajardo saying, I remember wanting a Space Jam 2, but not 20 years later.
Oh, boy.
Space Jam 2, my brain has turned to goo. Also, Scott Duncan asks, Creepy, what you think of Mothra 2019 design for King of the Monsters? Hey guys, did you know there's kind of plans for a Chucky and Krueger crossover along with the new remake and the TV series? Well, they're just willing to throw anyone together nowadays.
I want to see my basketball trick, Lola Bunny, says Chris Stevens. So this is a quote from a quote from I forget. Space Jam 2 Lola Boogaloo. Oh god, that's gonna be it's gonna go Lola is gonna be the predator for a second. Oh no. What have we done? Oh boy. Space Jam 2. Hey, this shit takes a while to write.
Cat Lunacia, I believe. I remember seeing that in the theater when I was a kid at the YMCA. About Mothra. Honestly, I mean, I'm more interested in how Mothra will be presented in the movie than the way that Mothra looks, per se. Also, I said the name right. Hooray! I got it right!
As Chronicler says, they just realized they were 4 years old when Space Jam came out. That's my turning really old, really fast face. Can you tell? It looks like my normal face.
Yeah, that's why I haven't responded. Also, Darth Necrosis says Space Jam 2, making Rule 34 fanfics a reality.
Oh, boy. So while we figured that all the people who saw Space Jam when they were kids are now in their mid-30s, so why not make it rated R? Fuck it. I want to see Lola's wreck, okay? That would get me in the theater, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. 20 years after Space Jam 2, Space Jam 3.
Oh, God.
Oh, so we'll only have to wait 20 years instead of 25 for Space Jam 3.
Jeez, I'm going to count my age based on how many Space Jams.
You'll be like 94. Decker Shadow is 94 and reviewing Space Jam 5.
Oh, jeez. Bugs Bunny does crack off Lola tits. Okay, we are going to get so demonetized. So, let's talk about more sequels. Again and 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 again. Doom! John John confirms A Quiet Place 2 development release date.
Krasinski.
John Krasinski, co-writer, director, and star of A Quiet Place, has confirmed that a sequel is in development and not just called A Quieter Place, and that it will be coming in May 2020. Confirmed this via Twitter, writing, "Time to go back, hashtag part 2, 5/15/20, confirming the May 15, 2020 release date. This was accompanied by an image that appeared to take place in the same farmhouse from the original film. No, I don't see it, because I don't know. Anyway, through various reports indicated a sequel of The Quiet Place was in the works, and that it would come out on May 15, 2020. This is the first time that Krasinski himself has confirmed those reports. Previous reports also claimed Krasinski would be returning to write the script, but another report from Deadline claims he will also return to direct, and his wife, Emily Blunt, will reprise her role. However, per The Hollywood Reporter, Blunt is allegedly still in talks to star in the sequel, as are the child actors of the first film, Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe. The kits are reportedly under option, so when deals were made for the first film, Paramount reserved the rights to use them for any possible follow-ups. JHR also reports that after A Quiet Place's considerable success, the sequel's budget will be much higher than the original's $17 million. Krasinski and producers Andrew Form, Brad Fuller, and Michael Bay have allegedly settled on a story for the sequel based on one of two options. One focusing on a new aspect of the film's post-apocalyptic world and creatures, and a second being a continuation of the story revolving around the mother and children. In our review of A Quiet Place, we call the film great, saying a taut, fraught, and surprisingly satisfying Krasinski delivers B-movie thrills with legitimate chills in A Quiet Place. Ha! We rhymed. Okay. Batboy52 dropped $5 saying, A Quiet Place 2 with Doom Guy blasting BFG Division and hunting down the monsters.
So, a horror movie meets The Last of Us.
And Daniel DB631 says, the plot? We need to make money somehow. Oh, boy. And Chaos Chronicler says they still want to see Emily in that Edge of Tomorrow prequel. So is the Edge of Yesterday? I'm confused.
Edge of Tomorrow, Edge of Yesterday. Why is there never an Edge of the Present?
Well, if it's a prequel to Edge of Tomorrow, then it would have to be Edge of Today. But if they do that, then they would have to have like Edge of Afternoon if they want to do something in between.
Well, we've been talking about how many sequels are coming out. So after they do Edge of Tomorrow, Edge of Today, Edge of Yesterday, they can do Edge of Afternoon, and then Edge of Early Evening. I was going to say, and then will come Edge of Twilight, but oh dear, that just has so many bad feels associated with it.
Headphone Man says, while speaking of horror sequels, have you heard Rob Zombie is making a 3 from Hell, the final sequel to Devil's Rejects, and House of 1,000 Corpses? And yes, we've covered that on previous Live and Wired, I believe. Space Jam 2, The Quest for More Money. Star Wars 9. We don't have too much information on Star Wars 9, except for some stuff talking about review bombing on Rotten Tomatoes, but then again, review bombing doesn't necessarily mean review bombing anymore, which is weird. It's evidently the want to see now counts as a review. If you want to say people are unjustly giving it bad reviews, if people just say they don't want to see it, I'm confused. The whole thing's very confusing.
Also, Scott Duncan wrote The Edge of Nowhere, and Edge of Nowhere sounds like a creepy and Decker movie. Creepy and Decker, The Edge of Nowhere.
Lord of Pearl Trident says Edge of Edgelord. Oh, God. But yeah, we had some stuff on the Patricia had a thing on. Where the hell is it? Oh, there's a lot of damn. That's the thing. There's way too much news for us to cover.
Yeah.
Oh, but we do have the sequel to The Edge of Tomorrow.
The Edge of Yesteryear?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Shaboom. So, Creepy.
Warner Brothers developing sequel to Edge of Tomorrow with Cruise and Blunt expected to return. So we're seeing a return of Blunt and Scientology. Yay. Live, die, repeat.
I remember the trailers for Edge of Tomorrow. It just kind of seemed like it's an action game. It's just they did it like a movie, and the guy he's not very good at it, so he keeps having to respawn.
Right. When it was released in 2014, director Doug Liman's sci-fi film Edge of Tomorrow didn't exactly light up the box office, earning $370 million worldwide. How is that not lighting things up? Like, by what standards do you have?
We spent $178 million on this movie, and it only made about $200 million more. What a waste.
I know.
So disappointed.
Regardless, sequel talks began shortly thereafter with Lyman and stars Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt all on board. The team had just been waiting for all the stars to align, and it seems they finally have, as Deadline reports today that Warner Brothers is developing the sequel.
I like it when they just call her Blunt.
Yeah. Matthew Robinson, the invention of lying, pitched a take and has been brought on to write the sequel, and the plan is still for Lyman to...
Somehow I find it hard to trust that. I'm sorry.
Someone who wrote The Invention of Lying. And Lyman is to return to the director's chair. Cruise and Blunt are also expected to return. In Edge of Tomorrow, an adaptation of the 2000 Japanese light novel All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Sakurazaka. Yeah. A soldier fights aliens, gets to relive the same day over and over again, the day restarting every time he dies. The film will be produced by Erwin Stoff, Tom Lassalle, okay, and Masaoka with Hisashi Sasaki. There we go. Is executive producing.
Okay. So yeah, Masaoka. He was in the Meg.
He was in what?
He was in the Meg.
Oh.
I was like, oh yeah, him. I know Masaoka. Yeah, Masaoka. Okay.
So I'm kind of about this. I didn't see the first film. I was just kind of overall about it. So
the first film looked like it would be fun, but it was nothing that I was feeling too enthused to run out and see. But $370 million? That's still not like, ugh.
I mean, like, I'm hearing, I was more excited. I get more of a reaction out of that than I did about the movie being made, because I'm like,
you're like, people bought tickets to see this shit?
Your movie made almost $400 million, and you're calling that lackluster? The hell are your standards? Does everybody on the planet have to buy a ticket before you consider it a success? Actually, this is Warner Brothers, so
it's like maybe it's like that Activision call where they call their stockholders. They're like, "Hey guys, great news! We exceeded our expectations. We're doing so good. We made so much money. Also, we're firing half our staff." It was like, Jesus Christ. Or the latest Call of Duty selling like twice as much as the previous one, and then they're like, disappointing. It did not meet expectations. Like, how the fuck what did you think it was gonna sell?
You have the highest freaking rated game of the year. How did this? What was your expectations to begin with?
Oh god. So whatever happened to Tangerine Dream? Why did some good movie soundtracks for more movies you think... They did some good movie soundtracks for movies you think you could make a video about that, Decker. Tangerine Dream soundtrack. I'm not familiar. I gotta do some research in it.
Yeah. Also, I'm just like, sometimes I just think that they're just making up whatever excuse they think will sound feasible so they can pull this crap. It's like, well, your game may have made us a fuck ton of money, got us out of debt, put us in the black for the next 5 years, but we're still firing you and half the staff because it didn't meet our expectations.
Oh, God.
Did you expect this game to cure cancer?
Patrick Johnson says, "You bastards dare made us money? You're fired!" 10 out of 10 flawless line. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they were just trying to put out a turd and like tank the series. They're like, okay, what's everyone sick of now? Battle Royale. Put a Battle Royale mode in there. Ship it. Whatever. We're gonna finally stop having to make these damn Call of Duty. Everyone loves it. Fired anyway. God damn.
We told you to make a bad game, not a good one. How is it hard to make a bad game? We do it all the time. The one time we ask you to make a bad game on purpose and you fail at it.
And Scott Duncan says, Edge of Tomorrow, from the dawn of the planet of the apes to the future of today versus Robo-Godzilla/Kong hybrid with tits, and from Dead Zone in a new world with motherfucking chainsaw hands and bazooka boobs. Okay.
I'm surprised that Bazooka Boobs did not wind up in an Austin Powers movie, because I know they made the machine gun titties.
Bazooka Boobs were in Tank Girl?
That's true.
Well, Rocket Boobs, anyway. At what point do you make the differentiation between the bazooka?
I mean, like, there's a point where it does feel like you're just splitting hairs, yeah.
Tangerine Dream offered to score to Ridley Scott's Legend. Huh.
Yes, they did. Actually, there are 2 different scores to Legend. One of them by Tangerine Dream.
Any news on more Predator/Alien sequels as much as we want them? I don't think so, besides that one thing we saw as an aside on the one article where it's like, hey, there's a Alien animated series in the work that's going to be like hard R horror. I think they said it was like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining what I would like, but I'm still confused because it's animated.
I just had a thought. What if the two of us called...
Oh! I just thought, like, what with all... I'm sorry. I'm thinking, what if, like, so many other things, there was a children's cartoon of Alien.
Alien babies! Alien babies, we make our dreams come true. Alien babies,
Saturday morning,
we explode out of you.
Okay. Grover was an alien, wasn't he?
So what?
Grover was an alien, wasn't he?
Yes, it was eventually revealed that Grover was an alien.
Yeah. How did he get there in Muppet Babies?
Actually, you know what? Even in the movie where he reveals that he's an alien, they don't reveal how. They just say you were lost to us several years ago. Like it's just a thing that happens sometimes. I guess. Hey, but we found you. Good, right? And then they do a song and dance number. But I did have a idea. What if you and I wrote a Predator movie script? I know you're doing the reading the original draft of the Predator script on your gaming channel.
Almost done with it. Technically, I actually finished reading it like 2 weeks ago.
So that's what you've been doing.
I've been like every couple of days uploading the next parts.
Right.
And it was Gonzo, not Grover.
It was Gonzo, not Grover. Right,
Maybe Grover's also an alien. Who knows?
Grover is the dog. Gonzo is the weirdo. Right. Sorry.
Grover's an alien now too. I say so.
Yeah. Right. But yeah. Anyway, but no. Like, what if we could make this like a Patreon thing? Like, what if we wrote a Predator script? Help me out here, guys. What do you all think? What if Decker and I collaborated and wrote a Predator script?
Well, that does remind me. There is a little bit of Patreon news. Interestingly enough.
Okay.
It's not really anything that's like, oh my god, this is world changing. It's just kind of like an update on existence that you probably already know about, but is here.
Also, Lupacillo said Rolf is the dog. Yeah, I am so bad at remembering my Muppets tonight. I feel terrible. Yeah, Rolf is the dog. Grover is from Sesame Street. Yeah.
I love this. It's like Patreon has funneled nearly $1 billion to independent creators since 2013. Here's where it's gone, and here's an ad of people just fucking wasting their money traveling. Okay. Go away, ads. Go. Bye. There we go. Chances are, if you follow any writers, artists, musicians, independent game designers, podcasters, or aspiring YouTube stars, established, you're familiar with Patreon, the platform that allows individuals to contribute to support individuals in their creative endeavors through small monthly contributions. Because Patreon allows and even encourages people to give in small denominations, it's not clear how big a pile all those little monthly stipends make at the end of the day. According to data recently made public by the company, it's on track to top $1 billion since its beginnings in 2013, with more than $500 million in 2019 alone. Patreon was able to reach those milestones because of tremendous momentum over the past year or two. The company reports that it increased membership from 2 million to 3 million since 2017 and is helping those members support over 100,000 creators in various fields. The model has been a boon to a variety of creators across the wide spectrum of activities. According to exclusively obtained data, Patreon's biggest growth categories over the last 3 years has been music, with a 6 times increase in creators and a 4 times increase in total revenue, and games and mods, with a 5 times increase in creators and 10 times increase in revenue. Video and podcasting have also seen 7 to 8 times increases in revenue. Unlike other crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, Patreon does not tie contributions to specific projects or require a minimum threshold before making funds available. Instead, members give small amounts monthly to creators of their choice in exchange for periodic rewards, usually access to exclusive content, private conversations with creators, invitations to special events, and so on. Creators who attract enough patrons can supplement their irregular income they make from their projects or wages from their day job with a dependable monthly stipend. That can free them to spend more time on their artistic endeavors by taking some of the financial pressure off. Ironically, in today's post-industrial society, it took a digital technology platform to bring back the postmodern custom of patronizing artists, something that was traditionally done by wealthy families or institutions by making it available to any fan of creative work, regardless of wealth or means. So, yeah, there's a big old discussion on Patreon and all the positives. And there's also a lot of crap going on with Patreon. And the in response to that, there's the rise of Subscribestar right now. But there was also before that there was Maker Support, but Maker Support had its own little shit go on where evidently I think that the stuff with Maker Support, it was eventually kind of dug into. What I believe was the result of the research people did was that the folks behind Maker Support, which was the alternative to Patreon, in case you're not okay with some of the limitations there, well, they weren't exactly good with managing their finances, and they thought, hey, what if we take all we have and put it into Bitcoin? Because that will mean when Bitcoin goes up and up and up, we'll be super fucking rich. Let's just invest everyone else's money into this. And then Bitcoin went down, and then they didn't have enough money to pay everyone on the Maker Support. And they're like, oopsie! At least that's what I heard. I'm not entirely certain of its accuracy. I'm going to use as many weasel words as I can here to get out of responsibility for the shit coming out of my mouth. But that's kind of the story on Maker Support. But right now there's Subscribestar, which is an alternative to Patreon, similar in vein. So I'm on Subscribestar as well. I was on Maker Support as well. I have no idea if Maker Support's even available anymore. Nothing really happened with Maker Support, so I'm thankful no one was ever giving me money on that. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future of Subscribestar. Patreon, I'm pretty sure, is going to be around, but some people aren't so happy with some of the backdoor things going on with Patreon. So the option is there.
Real quick, Batboy52 dropped $5, said, AVP3, a family picture, rated R, written and directed by Decker and Creepy, a tale where the Xeno and the Pred find the greatest treasure, true love.
Oh, God. I'm gonna have to have the Predator get some motherfucking chainsaw. He's gonna be fighting tree beasts at some point, and it's gonna make sense. He's gonna need those motherfucking chainsaw hands. Oh boy. Elon Musk started a Patreon. Or started Patreon. I'm not sure which. Have I seen Hardcore Henry? No, I feel like I should, but I also feel like I'm probably going to get sick if I do. Like, if it's something is too much shaky cam for too long, I have a problem motion sickness. It does happen. If I'm actually doing something, it's not so bad. Like, I remember on the gaming channel, for instance, I had videos where I'm playing the original Doom, or I'm playing Brutal Doom, rather, and everything's really fast. Everything's a lot of motion. I go back and I watch my own video, and I'm feeling sick watching it. Playing it, I don't, but watching it, I do. Is this my house or studio? Both?
Yes.
Am I aware a creepy doll is watching from the big chair behind me? No? Have y'all seen Wayne? Asks Southern Yankee for a $3 super chat. I have no idea what Wayne is.
Me either.
Like, is this someone who's gone missing? Like, are you asking just in general? Like, where's Wayne? I am not sure. That Boy 52 dropped $5 more, saying, featuring the first female predator on screen with huge plasma caster titties. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Catcher Zippy McScoots says, "You think Decker goes to a studio to do this?"
I don't know. A lot of those articles on Vice talking about those YouTubers that only pretend to be real people. It's a very, very clever ruse they're pulling. They got all these things in place, and they could get the soundstage, but they're filming in their kitchen because that makes it seem like they're just like you. Not just that. That's the best I can afford is to film in my kitchen.
I actually happen to know for a fact that Decker lives out in the middle of the nowhere in a place so remote that it doesn't even have a post office. Then again, I grew up in a place that was like that, so who am I to talk?
Should do a Summer of James Bond. Who was it? Is it Gurning Chimp that does James Bond stuff? I want to say it is, but I don't know. Which Manic Expressionist was it who did a lot of James Bond? A whole lot of James Bond.
I don't remember.
I want to say Gurning Chimp, but I can't recall exactly. I don't know if that was a different Manic Expressionist. I know Gurning Chimp was a Manic Expressionist. I just don't know if he was the one who did the James Bond stuff.
Right. There was actually someone suggested talking about Summer of Stuff as Summer of James Bond, and that reminds me, we've got a Summer of something coming up in a few months.
Hope so. It's all kinds of craziness, and I was like, someone's gonna come, and I'm gonna be like, sorry, creepy, I still gotta finish that one review that we already did just now. I still haven't got it done.
that one review that was like that I sent you the stuff for back in February.
Yeah, it's and there's that, and there's the last one in February, and there's also the one that I got coming up. I had the whole month here planned. I got the first one ripped. I got to get that going, and that was supposed to be done this Wednesday, but I still got to get the last two done. Whew, it's not good. Tough question. What's your most favorite on-screen Predator out of the entire franchise? That's really old Grayback Elder from the end of Predator 2. Favorite on-screen? The entire franchise. I would have to say the original, just because they still had a lot of the parts that made it seem a little more alien, in my opinion, where, like, the scenes of it, I often cite this, but it's one of the first things that pops in my head, is where you see it climbing down like a sheer cliff face first on all fours. That's something that's very much not like how a human would do it, versus the later Predator movies where it really seemed more like a guy in a suit because its behavior became a lot more human.
Right.
I think they call him Jungle Hunter in the long run, in the series. Oh, this. I'm trying to think. Thinking of other things to click on and say, hey, here's some stuff.
Boy 52 dropped $2 and said, when you gonna review Ash versus Evil Dead?
Yeah, I gotta get the series. Then again, that's creepy. You're more on the TV series kind of thing.
Mm.
Okay. Ah, there's a sequel. And here we are. Nice sequel news for you. You like some sequels, do you? Here's some sequels.
It, Chapter 2, may set a record for most blood in a horror movie scene.
Oh, most blood in a horror movie scene. Oh, even then, I'm still curious as to whether or not that's accurate. I mean, am I the only one that remembers in the Evil Dead remake it raining blood? Like,
I'm also thinking of that scene in the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie where the blood geyser.
Yeah, the blood geyser. After Johnny Depp is sucked into bed.
Right. Anyway, yeah, like that was the first thing that came to mind when I saw the article. I'm just like, well, what about that scene? While details on It Chapter 2 have been kept under wraps since the film concluded late last year, star Jessica Chastain has teased it will be one of the bloodiest horror movies ever. While appearing on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon last night to promote Dark Phoenix, Chastain decided to reveal a behind-the-scenes spoiler from the upcoming Stephen King adaptation.
She did it right here. She's smiling about it. She's happy about this.
I'm going to say something, and I think it's going to be in trouble. And I think I'm going to be in trouble, but I'm going to do it, declared Chastain. It might be a spoiler, but in the movie, there's a scene that someone said on set that it's the most blood that's ever been in a horror movie film in a scene. Okay. I feel like certain parts of this sentence were redundant. And I'll tell you, the next day, I was like pulling blood out of my eyeballs. Fake blood.
Okay, so she thinks it's the okay. I'm assuming it's not actually going to set a record because, like I said, Evil Dead, raining blood, literally raining blood. Okay, so Batboy52 dropped $2 saying like more than the bathroom scene, like bathroom scene in the original. It's there's all that blood all over the bathroom, and then they clean it, and then he repeats blast.
Anyway,
I think that's what happened. Maybe that's just in my brain.
Right.
My brain is all fucked up.
With the fellow King adaptation, The Shining, featuring an elevator opening to a river of blood, there's that. Chastain's claim is a bold one. However, given the terrifying source material, the eagerly anticipated sequel may just set a bloodletting record. It Chapter 2 stars Bill Skarsgård, James McAvoy.
Basilio and Darth Necrosis are both like bloodier than the Shining elevator, more than the elevator and the with blood from the Shining. Scott Yoshihara's like even more than the climax of Dead Alive. And Epic Jason X9000 says, I've also seen a blood ocean from Metalocalypse.
The film is scheduled to be released on September 6th.
So, yeah, that's the only way I was thinking that it would set an actual record on how much blood is in a scene in a horror movie would be an ocean of blood.
Right.
I think Metalocalypse is a cartoon, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yes. I'm pretty sure that she said, like, most blood she's ever had to deal with on film. Like, I don't think she's a very versed in the record of most blood for any horror movie. Because I was thinking of all things, so I was like, wait, there's a lot of blood here. It's like, oh, you had to clean a lot of blood off of yourself later. Okay, but how much was on the scene? Because we're talking
Skepticals are firmly in place.
Epic Jason X9000 says they want Wishmaster 5, goddammit. God, burning! Okay,
and the screen went bright. The screen went bright again when you started shouting, Dicker. So.
I don't understand. Why is I'm mostly always dark, and then occasionally I'm burning. I don't understand.
It's like I actually thought. Were you screaming about how bright it got, or were you screaming because of Wishmaster 5? I thought you were screaming because of Wishmaster 5. My bad.
But yeah, there was a trailer for Dark Phoenix revealing how Jean becomes Phoenix. And the international trailer has been pulled offline, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to star James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, and Nicholas Hoult, Ty Sheridan, Alexandra Shipp, Cody Smith-McPhee, and Evan Peters. So there's evidently been 2 trailers released for it. It's Metalocalypse, another one of those kid cartoons. Oh, yes, one of those ones that'll pop up on YouTube Kids. Watch some Metalocalypse.
Family-friendly entertainment from family-friendly videos.
To be fair, I'd let my kids watch Metalocalypse.
That's true. I feel like Decker is going to become a father one day, and he's going to be like, one day there will be a case study just about, okay, this is Decker's child. This is everything that Decker did as a parent. So from now on, everyone, never do anything that is on this list. And among others, it will be, don't let your children watch Conan, don't let your children watch Alien movies, don't let your children watch Metalocalypse.
Dang it. Well, let your children watch something like this, okay?
Batboy52 dropped $2, said they got metal for fish. Why not metal for kids?
They got metal for... I'm confused. Metal for fish? What? Okay, Creepy. Would you like to take this one?
Will Forte, Gina Rodriguez, and Tracy Morgan to star in animated Scooby-Doo movie. Exclusive. Veteran voice actor Frank Welker will voice Scooby. Well, yes. Last Man on Earth star Will Forte, Jane the Virgin star Gina Rodriguez, Tracy Morgan, and Frank Welker are going for a ride in the Mystery Machine. I want to go for a ride in the Mystery Machine.
Well, that's just because of the doobie snacks.
Oh, that's what you want, Decker. The actors have closed deals to voice star in the untitled Scooby-Doo animated movie being made by Warner Brothers and its Warner Animation Group division. Tony Cervone is directing the feature, which counts Chris Columbus, Charles Roven, and Allison Abate are producers. Blech. The project brings to the big screen for the first time since 2004's live-action Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, the mysterious and borderline supernatural hijinks of 4 teens and their borderline talking Great Dane Scooby-Doo. Rodriguez will voice Velma, of course. Known as the brains of the group, Forte will voice Shaggy, the scaredy cat slacker and stoner, who is best friends with Scooby. Morgan will voice a character not part of the Scooby-Doo universe, but rather part of the larger Hanna-Barbera cartoon universe, Captain Caveman. I apologize to everyone. I will amend my mistake. Captain Caveman!
Ow!
The story sees the Mystery Inc. gang join forces with other heroes of the Hanna-Barbera universe to save the world from Dickie Dastardly and his evil plan.
Oh. So, Creepy, are you okay? Breathe.
This is an Onion article, isn't it?
Hollywood Reporter.
Kind of the same thing, right? Oh, man, they had me going until I got to that part. Okay, where was I? For they're critiquing dastardly in its evil plan. And this time we are told the threat is real.
You're not getting away with this, Dick! So, okay. Breathe, live. It's going to be very embarrassing if you die in the middle of Live and Wired. It's also going to be false advertising, and I'll get sued.
Okay. The movie is slated for a May 2020 release. Rodriguez, who in 2018 appeared with Natalie Portman in the sci-fi thriller Annihilation, voiced a character in Smallfoot, an animated offering from Warner's animated arm, WAG. Never mind. She is repped by CAA, and the article just disappeared. Okay. She is repped by CAA and Jackaway Tyreman. Forte, who for a decade appeared on Saturday Night Live, recently voiced the part of Abraham Lincoln in Lego Movie 2, the second part. He recently wrapped up a dramatic role in Laundromat, directed by Steven Soderbergh, and also starring Meryl Streep and Gary Oldman. SNL and 30 Rock alum Morgan will voice Captain Caveman. He also has the Netflix animated series Green Eggs and Ham coming up. Veteran voice actor Welker's relationship with Scooby-Doo dates to the role of Fred in 1969 to 1970 series Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Ah, okay. So then, you okay?
They had me until they mentioned Dickie Dastardly.
As Scott Duncan says, Dickie Dastardly versus Private Thrust. Oh, boy. Oh, whew. Broke my neck. So if I can just figure things out. There we go. Things are figured out. Okay, I figured things out. Yay. Okay. So, yeah.
I'm reading some of the comments from while I was laughing.
So we have other animated movie news and such, and some video game news. Like the not Sonic, what the hell is wrong with me? Pokemon Sword and Shield got announced. Coming to Nintendo Switch. That's going to be the 8th generation. I believe 8. I don't know. How many generations have there been now? How many thousand Pokemon exist?
I lost count after 151.
Well, yeah, Professor Oak, because I'm there the first game, he's there like, that's like 150 of these things. I get a Mew, I don't catch the Mewtwo. He's like, that's 150, that counts. Here's your certificate. I'm like, I still got to catch the Mewtwo. He's like, doesn't matter. Here you go. Congratulations. I'm like, okay. And now I'm finding out there's like 10 times as many Pokemon. I'm like, dude, how long did you study Pokemon? You got gray hair. You can't. How did you not notice all of these fucking things around? There's a lot more than 150. So check your lawn every day. Like, how many Pokemon I see? Okay, okay, there's still only 5 in the world. And then it goes back to bed. Oy.
They're like rabbits. They just keep multiplying every few years when there's a new game.
Okay, so yeah, they're saying 8 generations. But there's also the new Pokemon movie that's an old Pokemon movie that was made into a new Pokemon movie, but now it's made into a newer Pokemon movie.
I feel like there were words in there somewhere.
This is like the 3rd version of this movie. Mewtwo strikes back. Again and again. Batboy52 says, Pokemon Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. I like all the memes with Pokemon Sword and Shield. This Pokemon Gun. Okay, that's like the only meme I've seen, but I like it.
So would that be a game where Pokemon have guns or where Pokemon are guns?
I'm assuming there would be a Pokemon that is a gun.
I'm thinking that there would be a gun that fires Pokemon.
I know there's already a Pokemon that is a sword. I'm pretty sure there's a Pokemon that is a shield out there. And yeah, of course there would be a Pokemon that just it is a gun. That's just it. It's a gun. That's your Pokemon. Go, Beretta! Oh boy. Pikachu with a pistol. Dear God. Oh, more like a grenade launcher. No, the Pokemon starts off as like a pistol, and then it evolves into a shotgun, and then it evolves into like an artillery cannon.
Spider-Boy43 says Pokemon Bomb and Pokemon Missile.
Cat Lunicia says artillery and Remoraid are both gun-based. Batboy52 dropped $2 saying a Pokemon that is a gun that fires Pokeballs. That'd make it a lot easier to play Pokemon Let's Go.
Very
Got
true.
it. But yes, there is actually a 30-second trailer here for, if I can get this all right, Patricia, save me. Okay, there we are. The trailer for Pokemon's first CG movie looks nothing like the anime you remember, which isn't exactly true. It actually looks quite a bit like the anime you remember. That's entirely what it's based on. It is the same movie. Again, it's just CG now. Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution ain't your daddy's Pokemon movie, all right. Yeah, thank you.
They're trying to make Pokemon hardcore.
Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution is the next film in the franchise, and also the first film in the franchise. And with it comes a new era for the Pokemon anime. Ash, Misty, Brock, Pikachu, and everyone else we remember from way back when are stepping into a third computer-generated dimension. And they look very weird. They look CG. What do you want from them? A 30-second teaser for the upcoming movie, which premieres in Japan this summer, is here for the rest of us to gaze at in equal parts horror, equal parts regret. For lo, this is not our beautiful Pokemon anime! Instead, the video suggests a remake of Pokemon the first movie released in 1999, which tells Mewtwo's origin story and also features Ash dying for a hot second. For the 20th anniversary Redux, the Pokemon Company has gone with a slick animation style that turns our cartoony friends into talking dolls. It's called CGI. This is a Polygon article. Are they not familiar with polygons? Perhaps I'm being too harsh on what's really just a brief, quick-cutting look at the movie. The Pokemon we see in it, for instance, look really good. It's almost like they've already been polygonal for, like, ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nice texturing to them, certainly preferable to the dramatically realistic textures in Detective Pikachu, which I'm looking very forward to, thank you very much. The background environments are nice too, but I can't shake the feeling that there's something very wrong with the human cast here. I think this tweet from Digital Gaming's Liam Robertson puts it best so far. Jump Force looking ass. Okay, they look like anime characters in CGI.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it comes. That's what happens. Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution is in Japanese theaters on July 12th. No Western release has been confirmed yet. Okay, creepy. Let's go back to Japan.
Batboy52 dropped $5 and said the last anime movie that had evolution in the title was a huge disaster. Just saying.
Oh. Pokemon's always been about evolution, but why do they... That's like naming it like Pokemon.
That could be the next game, you know. Pokemon.
Oh, God. Which version were you getting? I'm getting Poke. I'm getting Mon. Oh, boy. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Pokemon Left and Right. Pokemon PP and JJ?
I'm waiting for the day when they run out of primary colors, and so they have to go into the more obscure ones. Pokemon Olive and Chartreuse.
Scott Yoshihara says Mario. Luigi Mario. The Mario Brothers. Pokemon Dead and Alive. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Pokemon Yin and Yang. That was like Pokemon Black and White, pretty much.
Yeah, I was going to say Pokemon Yin and Yang actually does sound like a legitimate title.
Pokemon 50. Ash turns 21. Pokemon Coke and Pepsi. I'm going to save up for Pokemon Alien and Predator. Oh, boy. Okay. So we're getting close to... We're at the 2.5 hour mark now.
Yeah.
So we should probably see about wrapping things up there soonish.
I'm like, all the laughter I did over the Scooby-Doo article, that's really... It was like, I laughed, so I did not wet my pants. I will say that. I did not wet my pants.
According to Uncharted series co-creator Emmy Henning, a game like Uncharted wouldn't be a viable pitch today. Well, that explains what happened to Star Wars. Upcoming Rambo movie has an official release date. Okay, what do we got here? I'm just going to try and go a quick little thing. Okay, September 20th. All right. So it's going to be... No. I know. It's talking to me. It's got one of those ads that talk. Stop. No. Go, close. Okay, good. Okay, so September 20th for Rambo 5.
Rambo, the next one.
Okay. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Dune, video games and movies coming out together. Dune, D-U-N-E. That one that classic sci-fi series that George Lucas ripped the fuck off of for Star Wars. That one.
I thought it was a Hong Kong movie called The Fortress that he ripped off.
Well, technically, everyone's pointed out there's a lot of similarities here, but also there's biblical references, and I'm thinking, well, couldn't all of them just looked at the Bible and just been using some pieces here and there for flavor? I don't know. I'm crazy. Dune video games coming in alongside 2020 movie, says Funcom. Oh, that's I'm going to screen share the fuck out of that. That's a very nice little worm. Shaboom.
Decker?
Yes?
Open wide.
Okay, so Bad Boy dropped $5 saying, does Xenomorph count as a Pokemon? It does have an evolutionary cycle with some specific requirements. Yeah.
He's not wrong.
But it doesn't evolve from drone to queen. So that's kind of a side thing. So you still have egg, facehugger, chestburster, drone, or warrior, or queen. Adds all kinds of... Anyway, a new adaptation of Dune is coming to movie theaters in 2020, and it'll be getting some video games to go with it, says Funcom. The makers of Conan Exiles and the Age of Conan and Secret World MMOs yesterday announced their partnership with Legendary Entertainment, the production company behind 2020's Dune and Herbert Properties, to make video games. Plural. Nothing more specific was offered, such as platforms, numbers of games, or their launch dates. Oh, great. It's going to be a mobile game that's then going to end up being ported to Switch, and they're going to charge $30 for it. So that's not too much information there, but hey, that's pretty cool. Anyway, we got to move on because we got a decent amount more to go through and not much time. Or, well, I don't know if we have too much more to go through. We got a trailer for China's blockbuster sci-fi film, The Wandering Earth. Mattel planning to make a Viewmaster movie.
Does anyone here even remember Viewmaster? Do they know what that is?
I remember seeing them as a kid, but never actually using one.
I'm asking seriously. Does anyone here even know what a Viewmaster is?
Ari Aster teases his upcoming horror movie Midsommar on a poster, otherwise known as a movie poster.
Right.
Yes, this is one you can read. This one, creepy. We need you to read this.
I don't think so.
Yes, we do.
Because I have a feeling I know what it is.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No.
Yeah, I don't need to read this one.
But it's got the Chuckinator.
No.
It's all the Chuckinator.
Not watching. Not looking.
Fine. We don't have to go and do that one. But yeah,
you can read it. You're fine to read it.
Well, it's just more information about the idea behind the Child's Play remake, which we already talked about many, many, many times. Believe it or not, I think it's Patricia that likes fucking with you, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. So, okay, that's a Fresh Princess.
Oh, very well, since everyone seems to think that I need to.
Everyone, the Turkey remake? Or the Fresh Princess?
They're asking me to, there's a Topanga Black Fang 1998 said, please creepy.
I think it's too long and we're already really running short on time. Oh, boy, Game of Thrones themed Oreo cookies are being released during the final season. We got some. It's okay. Checks the Chainsaw Massacre. Comic book review.
Are you reading an article or conducting an auction?
Upcoming Israeli vampire series Judah is coming to Hulu. It's nice. Reggie Fils-Aimé retires very soon. Like this month, I think, or next month. Either way, he's retiring very soon. And he is, and we've already been introduced to who will be replacing Fils-Aimé as the president of Nintendo of America. A former employee of Electronic Arts, believe it or not, but one who has been working under Nintendo's umbrella for several years now. A nice man named Doug Bowser. And that's pretty much it. Everyone's like, his name's Bowser and he's going to be president of Nintendo of America. That's the joke.
Yep.
This is weird as shit, and I do want to talk
about it. Of course you do.
It's creepy. You can read it because it's weird. And I think you're going to have some interesting things to say.
The 1960s kids show The Banana Splits being reinvented as a horror film. Okay, and just looking at the lineup here, looking at the photo, I'm going to say, okay, somebody heard about how popular Five Nights at Freddy was, so they decided to do this. 1960s era, thank you. 1960s era kids show The Banana Splits as being reinvented as a horror film, originally intended as a children's variety show that mixed live action and animated elements. The Banana Splits Adventure Hour was an NBC program hosted by a cast of animal characters who played in a band together, which ran for 2 seasons from 1968 to 1970. Created by Hanna-Barbera Productions, familiar name, who ruled the animation roost for decades with hits like The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, The Jetsons, and The Smurfs. The Banana Splits consisted of Fleagle, a beagle on guitar and vocals, Bingo, a gorilla on drums and vocals, Drooper, a lion on bass and vocals, and Snorky, an elephant on keyboards.
Well, why doesn't Snorky get to sing?
I was going to say, so Snorky has no
dialogue. They let the drummer sing, but they don't let the pianist sing?
Yeah, that's the way it goes, apparently. The ensemble was originally to be called the Banana Bunch, but when that name proved unable to obtain due to legal issues with the author of a book by the same name. I was going to say, I feel like I've heard the Banana Bunch before somewhere. Anyway, Hanna-Barbera decided to go instead with the Banana Splits Adventure Hour. The series saw oddly psychedelic animal-suited actors perform sketches, music, and introduce animated content.
And I'm feeling like this is going to be some kind of weird thing with that's part of the crossover of Hanna-Barbera properties for the Scooby-Doo thing. They're gonna be the ones who are like they're going to be the minions of Dickie Dastardly. We also have some super chats. Savage Tiger 13 dropped $20 saying the next Child's Play movie. Chucky has our heroes on the ropes. He's on the verge of winning. Then suddenly his head goes flying, and we pan up to see a leather-clad creepy wielding a katana, who then says, "Now stay dead." And we also got $5 from Batboy52 saying the banana splits with a horror twist. That sounds like Gore with extra steps.
Over half a century later, the Banana Splits are getting set to make a comeback of sorts. Though Warner Brothers brought the characters back in 2008 to a limited degree, Deadline reports that not only are the Banana Splits on their way back once again, but this time in a completely different way, as the subject of a horror film. Premiering this year via Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, the Banana Splits will later debut on television at Sci-Fi.
Woo!
The film's plot focuses on a young boy named Harley who, along with his family, make a special birthday trip to see a taping of the Banana Splits TV show. But when things take a strange turn, bodies begin piling up, and suddenly Harley's fun day at a TV studio transforms into something far more sinister. At the time of this writing, there's no word as to whether the film will be set in the 1960s or present day. Honestly, I think the 60s would work better because I have a hard time imagining that a kid today would be as excited about seeing
I'll
that
catch it on Twitch.
live.
He's just watching it on Twitch on his phone, like, screw it.
Right, basically, yeah. Where was I? In terms of cast, the Banana Splits will star Danny Kind, Finlay, and I'm not even going to try, Romero Carrere, Steve Lund, and Sarah Canning, and will be directed by Danishka Esterhazy. There is currently no confirmed release date, though the film is confirmed for release later this year. So sometime this year.
And just speculating here.
As far as potentially creepy concepts for horror films go, this one seems to have it all. The idea of characters from a children's variety show being involved in murder is odd enough as it is, but once the actual Banana Splits are added to the equation, things get even murkier. Watching the original characters sing their theme song is chilling for reasons that are difficult to pin down. Perhaps it's the unblinking eyes of the ratty-looking costumes, but hopefully, whatever it is, Esterhazy will take care to harness it. With a setup like this, there's ample potential to make the Banana Splits a memorable bit of horror. And honestly, I don't necessarily disagree. My voice is starting to go.
So yeah, it seems interesting, but I feel like it's taking something and not thinking about it. It's specifically not looking at it as the way it's originally intended and just saying, wow, this looks freaky as hell. Well, fuck it, it's a horror movie.
But honestly, I know I made the joke earlier I made the comment about Five Nights at Freddy, and I stand by, and I think that's still probably the case, but at the same time, look at the costumes. Tell me that doesn't look freaky to you.
I wouldn't want them to be singing at my birthday party, but then again, I'm going to be 36 this year. So that might have something to do with it. Okay, we got just like one little rumor talking about, hey, there's some rumblings that Xbox Game Pass might be coming to Switch. But that does kind of go against the way Xbox Game Pass kind of works right now, because it started as a streaming service, but then because streaming really didn't work very well, it's now, well, you download the game and you can use it during the time frame that's available.
Right.
So that needs the Xbox in order to run it. So in order for it to work on the Switch, it would have to be a streaming service, which they've moved away from. So they'd have to bring that back in order to be able to do that. So,
right.
That's all a little confusing. But hey, if it happens, then I'm getting Xbox Game Pass on the Switch. I can play Halo in my pocket. That sounded like it meant something else.
I think we better call it here, Decker, because my voice is starting to go out.
Oh, yes. Will you read the Prometheus script next? Well, Prometheus can't. I don't know if there's anything. Are there early drafts of Prometheus that are really fucked up? Because I don't know. it could be interesting to check out more scripts. I do enjoy reading, and that seems to. I usually just do the visual novels, but not everyone is into visual novels, and a lot of them get kind of repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has been one of those days, but it's been fun. It has been a lot of fun.
Yes.
And the YouTube news was kind of depressing, but also kind of not as bad as it could have been. So,
no, we've had worse.
I don't know. I'm feeling like optimistic today.
Mm-hmm.
So Prometheus did have some fucked up shit in it. Oh, that could be fun to read then.
That's true.
Anyway. Duck missed the banana split story. Unfortunately, yes. But it came in right towards the end, so as soon as everything's done processing and it's just a video on demand, it should be relatively easy to find.
Right.
So, what is going on with you, Creepy?
Daria retrospective. We're finally covering season 4 on... Excuse me, sorry, I wasn't kidding about my voice going out. Finally covering season 4 on channel. We've also got a new Batman retrospective coming up. What about you, Decker?
The gaming channel got actually got a decent amount of content. The Predator early draft from April 2016, almost all 14 parts are now available in viewable. I think we're up to 12 parts right now.
Right.
Also, Creepy, Mr. Games is going to be off on Monday, so we might be able to do some EDF then, if you're available.
What time?
I don't know.
Keep me posted.
Right. And on the main channel, obviously, I haven't had a review out in the last 2 weeks that I was supposed to. Do have them filmed and written and filmed, and I got most of the editing done. It's just the last couple of days have also been pretty hard to get anything done because it's been my fiance's birthday, and then today everyone decided that it was be a great day to renovate the house. So I've been doing a lot of things other than editing, and it's like,
Are you going to edit as soon as we're done here?
Yes.
Okay.
So going to get the next video out. It's going to be a crossover with myself and Creepy. Going to get the video after that out, and then I'm going to be hopping on the this month's special, which is supposed to be for these 4 Wednesdays. I'm supposed to be doing this entire little series because, well, there was that lovely actress who was in Moontrap 2, and their Moontrap 2 performance was not the worst performance in the movie, but it wasn't really anything to write home about, and that left me wondering, she was supposedly actually very good at what she did, and I'm wondering if that's her acting in that movie was more a case of I've shown up and I've seen that where they're recording it on a little handy cam and there's like no extras. We're in this guy's backyard. Okay, just get it done with. Or if it really was a case of we'll get one take. Okay, that's good. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, just give them a fair shake. They're most known for I Spit on Your Grave, but there is the original I Spit on Your Grave, then there's the remake with them in it, and then there's the other 2 movies in the remake series that I don't think she's in, but
right.
Still, you got a lot of graves to spit on, so let's spit on some graves. This is sounding like really bad advice. I'm going to get demonetized and my channel comments disabled.
Anyway, so you got that.
So yes, thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado.
And I've been that long-haired creepy guy.
And remember, it all comes to Nintendo Switch eventually. You cannot escape it.
Unless you just don't play the Switch.
God damn it.